But football's become soft like our country has become soft.
And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
I'm going to drink a lot of Budweiser tonight, Tracy, and I promise you that.
Hello? You play to win the game.
I hate football!
They're like, Pat, how'd you punch so well today? I'm like, good question.
Did you realize that you were a champion in their eyes? Yes, I did.
Welcome back to another Laces Out show. He's at Official AJ Hawk. He's at Pat McAfee Show. Pat, you have a special guest today?
Yeah, Jordan, we're in New York, right? So I'm from America, Indianapolis, Indiana. Every once in a while I make a trip to New York City because we got a big Cyber Monday deal going on right now.
Everything must go.
Everything must leave our store. It's an internet store, though, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. But BarstoolSports.com store, 20% off everything. Cyber Monday, we are burying Dave Portnoy today in a coffin right here in the office. And I was asked if I wanted to come out and watch it, and I definitely did. And joining me is my show and my show's team. And this is at Sean Latham, the $20 chef, also known as every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. He makes a magnificent meal from scratch for less than $20. And we're just excited to be here with you guys. Jerry's drunk, AJ's peeing in a bottle, and we're high as fuck in the city that never sleeps.
And they set you up in a luxury hotel? Is that what I'm told?
They didn't set me up. I pay my own way. So, like, Barstool will pay for, like, my guys to come out here. I feel like that's a good business relationship. But I don't let anybody book my planes or hotels. That's just a rule that I very strictly have because the people booking it don't have to suffer through it, whatever the fuck it is. And I've learned this lesson the hard way numerous times. So I book my own shit. Although I've heard that my guys here, Sean, you're staying in a fucking nice place. There's a television in the bathroom.
Yeah, and the doors are heavy as fuck.
You know you're safe then. Heavy door means fucking safe.
That means it's quality construction. Mm-hmm. It's a nice place. They got chips laying around.
What?
But they're not free.
It's the holiday season. You pay for those chips, motherfucker. You know what I mean? But we're in a nice place, too. My lady and I stayed at a place called the Peninsula. It's up there by Trump Tower, which is fucking hilarious, dude. There is a Tiffany store on one side and then a Gucci store on the other side of Trump Tower. That's like the most stereotypical thing on earth. And I think right across the street is like fucking Prada or something. It's like the most uppity part of town on earth. And I feel like I'm living like Kevin McAllister right now in Home Alone 2. I'm feeling like a really good, like a king. I got slippers in my fucking room. I was like, what is this? Look at me. Good for me. It's a holiday season. A little vacation.
Sean, you said television in the bathroom.
No, it's
like
big deal.
why would you ever leave the bathroom then?
Well, I wasn't going to leave the bathroom, and then Pat called me and asked me if I'm going to come over to the show, so that's the only reason I left the bathroom.
Could you imagine the hemorrhoids I would have if I had a toilet bathroom or toilet television back at home? I'd never leave. There's one in my hotel. It's at the end of the bath, but I'm too barely. I can't fit in the bath. But it's a good Cyber Monday. BarstoolSports.com, the store. Everything must go. Everything must go.
And by the way, Cyber Monday, I can live with. I feel like Black Friday is dead. I think it doesn't exist anymore. If there was any kind of a riot, store, people pulling each other apart like they have in the past, we'd know about it. You had to look for those stories this year. There were about 2. There used to be 2,000, and it was the best part about Black Friday was sitting at home just watching video of people killing each other over.
You remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger beat the fuck out of that dude to get that one toy?
Yeah,
what was that? What was that toy that Arnold Schwarzenegger beat the fuck out of that guy for?
I think it was a chopper.
I think it was. He got to it. I love that.
I'm surprised nobody shows up on a Black Friday sales like in a fighter suit, like a boxer.
Yeah.
So if it does pop off, that would be the most probably viral of all the videos.
Yeah, the guy fucking just cleaning house in a fucking Karate Kid suit. Are you kidding me? Wing, bang, boom. That's next Black Friday. Bam, 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 bam.
Didn't even bring his wallet.
Good idea alert. Go get in a fight at Walmart next Black Friday. There was definitely 2 this year, though. The fact that there's any, I just automatically, I didn't know people actually shopped at places anymore. And that's very much a very small world I live in, I guess. Amazon all the time. My lady's name is Samazon. That's what happens. we talk about shit one day, and the next day it's there, and I'm like, bro, this Jeff Bezos guy's got it figured the fuck out. He's like a personal butler. That fucking guy.
100 bill. He's worth 100 bill now.
He's going to be worth 7,000 billion forever. He's a personal butler to everybody. He was flying shit in on drones. He fucking came over my fucking house, dropped it down, boom. There you go, Pat. There's a new fucking shake weight. I'm like, thanks, cuz.
I don't know if I want a machine dropping weights on me.
A shake weight?
Yeah.
I'll take
Flat
it.
out. It sounds like the most dangerous fucking thing in the world
Wow.
to have machines flying around with 10-pound weights.
Well, believe it or not, they fly around with bombs, too, in other parts of the world. And I'm happy that's not happening here. I'm very happy that's not happening. Drones are the future, man.
AJ Hawk, do you know anybody in your life that goes shopping on Black Friday?
No, absolutely not. Anyone over? Well, Jerry, I bet the people that you run around with your age, they probably still shop on in brick and mortar stores, don't they?
He's judging a book by the cover.
But nobody with a penis goes out on Black Friday to go shopping. It just doesn't happen. That is a day for hangovers and reflection. There's no way that's involved where you cut short the greatest holiday in the world to go out to buy things. That's the last week before Christmas is when you go to a store.
I saw people actually leaving the night of Thanksgiving. There's like at 5 o'clock.
Camping out.
Just fucking half the holiday.
I think you're...
If you're doing that, you are everything that's wrong with everything.
Oh, there's a lot of people that are wrong with everything. But I think you're underestimating the power of Black Friday in like Indianapolis. And we had people camping out for IKEA, bro. People camp out and get excited for things. Like that Black Friday thing's a real thing. Like there's people in lines and like excited. I've met a couple people that have done it before in their lifetime, both male and female. And none of them have a good story about it. Not a one. They're like, waited in line for 7 hours. It was rainy and snowy. We got this fucking toy. And then hindsight, nobody even cared about it. It's just like everything is just a nightmare for it. I don't know why anybody would do it. Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs single-handedly changed the time between a green light hitting and the car moving. Okay? Across the world. Steve Jobs. Jeff Bezos single-handedly ruined shopping anywhere other than in your fucking bed or in your house. That's what Amazon did. That's the same exact thing. Changed the world completely.
See, the Irish Rose has girlfriends that go shopping on Black Friday just to go people watching. I'm like, I will watch people by the light of day.
Just come to New York City. There's fucking so many people here that are so people watchable. It's absurd. Every time I come here, that's the best part about it is I leave with like 45 stories. I'm like, oh, there's this guy who just got hit by a fucking car. He was on a little city bike and then he threw it. It was like.
Then he got back up and rode off.
See you later, cuz he said, not a big deal. That one's on me. See ya.
He rode a wheelie off.
He did. He's like, I want during the hand, not the walking guy. You never want to go during the hand. Boy, you can get blindsided quick with the quickness here in this traffic.
We almost saw a guy get hit at the airport today.
Respect? Like by a plane?
A guy like in a shuttle. We were waiting to get the Uber. He gets out. He's like, you wait for the signal. He gets out of his like work truck. And then this other truck has a slam on. It's like a big-ass box truck.
What?
In the other lane. Like me, Evan,
and that guy won't even tell that story tonight to his family because that type of shit happens here so often. It's absurd. New York City is the city of, and it's just so entertaining. It's content. This is the city of content. It really is.
See, I like places where I can go and find people to mock.
Well,
like anywhere, like Vegas. I've spent a weekend in Vegas, and it was a target-rich environment of just ridiculing and feeling superior to other people. And I feel like New York is perfect for that. It's built just for that purpose.
Yeah, it's
because
fantastic.
99% of the people you encounter are dumb. Dumber than you.
I watched a fucking magician tonight that's definitely smarter than me. He predicted what every person in the fucking crowd picked as a card before coming in, like a profession. Like he looked at this guy and goes, engineer. And the guy sits down and like, school teacher, bang, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang. Whole room, like fucking 200 people. I never been more mind blown in my fucking life. I'm like, this guy, unless everybody in here is a plant, I think there's real magicians, by the way. In New York City, just made me realize that. I don't understand how this guy read everybody's mind. I don't get it, guys. I'm mind blown. New York City blows my fucking mind every time I come here. What's up?
Now, why are you there? Were you trying to see Hamilton for a third time? Is that why you went?
You know I'm a live show guy. You know I'm a big time live show. I like live
So
shows.
who's this magician that you claim? That's not really a magician to guess people's profession.
I mean, that's pretty magical to me. I mean, I guess a lot of people see the Christmas holiday season as magical, and I think that Jesus' birth is in itself magic, but that's neither here nor there. I believed it was fucking magic what he was doing. He was illusioning the fuck out of me at one point. I was so, and now granted, I'm on a pretty heavy edible at this point. I go in there ready to be duped and stooped, but boy, I got a lot of questions through the whole fucking thing, and he answered all of them. Just bing, bang, boom, boom.
What about you? Did he guess your profession?
No. So that's funny. Me and my lady were like one of the only 4 or 5 people that didn't stand up because I guess we didn't do any research. We just heard magic and show. I'm like, oh, let's fucking go. So we went, and we had no clue what was going to happen. I think everybody else did research and were told, like, you should stand up at the end because he said, before you walked into the show, you walked past a wall of cards. And on the cards, it said, I am something. And we were one of the last people to get there. Obviously, we showed up late. Like, they were like, hurry up. We're like, we got to pee. They're like, well, we have to wait for you now. And I'm like, well, we got to pee. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm going to pee in the middle of this fucking show. It was a small theater to like 150, 200 people, but it was tight, packed in. So I pee. We're literally the last 2 in, but we have to pick a card before we go in. That's like a big part of it, right? So we picked everything was on there. There were so many options. There's like 1,000 options, and it's all in alphabetical order. And I picked I am, and it says a moonshiner. That's what I picked because all the good ones were taken. I found out later. And she picked a zookeeper, right? Because she likes animals. So at the end of the show, this dude goes, some of you picked your profession whenever you were asked what's your card to pick outside. Others picked something that they wish the world would see them as, right? And if that is you, please stand up. And the whole room stood up, basically, except for me, my lady, and like 2 people in front of us. I'm like, I don't want the world to see me as a fucking moonshiner. Is that a real question? And I thought we did it right, though, because like a magic show, like the only 4 of us are down. Like normally in this situation, it's like at the end, they're going to be like, you 4. I'm like, oh, I'm about to be a part of a fucking magic show real goddamn high right now. I was real excited about it. Turns out he was just guessing everybody's fucking card in the entire theater and just skipped right over us and just went to the people next to us, and then the show ended. I'm like, fuck me, man. I should have stood up for this motherfucker, but it was amazing. It was really incredible. I had no clue what to do. I was mind
See, I'm like,
blown.
there's an old Seinfeld bit that I totally agree with, that magic isn't fun. It just makes you feel stupid. Like, here's a quarter. Now it's gone. You're an idiot. Here it's back again. You're dumb. Thank you very much. Like,
yeah, sometimes you need that humility, Jerry. Sometimes you need a little humility in your life, okay? Let that magic guy just fucking shuffle the deck 45 times right on a zoomed-in camera and then deal himself 4 aces and then deal somebody else 4 kings, 4 queens, 4 jacks after shuffling and dealing it like it's a regular card game. Like, it was some of the most, I'm like, this motherfucker has hustled some people in some situation. I want to take him out to Times Square and have him go fucking hustle people. I want to film him doing that. I don't know.
He's cooking the deck.
Dude, yes, he really does. But he does it like, it was amazing. It was hard ass work. I know that guy worked his dick off to get to that point, and it paid off. But I fucked it up, and my lady, we didn't even, there was a moment where we could have stood up, where we looked at each other like, we should probably stand up, shouldn't we? I'm like, well, no. And I told her, I thought we won. I thought we got it right. I thought we were the 4 that were going to get it right. Maybe make speed disappear. Maybe a little magic trick happens to AJ. That's what I was hoping for. But anyways, New York has that shit. New York is an incredible city that you should definitely come to for 2 days and then get the fuck out.
Yeah, you should take him to Times Square. There's nobody out there doing that, like weird tricks and dressed as Spider-Man and Naked Cowboy and different people.
So many pedophiles under there, I bet. Boy.
Yeah.
You ever think about the man under the mask at Times Square? The fucking Mickey Mouse guy that literally looks like he just put a bucket on his head and painted on a mouse.
How about the cowboy guy?
The cowboy guy in his underwear.
Is cowboy guy seasonal?
No, I think he was there for a while when he was in his prime.
He's been there forever.
No, I'm saying, is he even in the cold when it's snowing?
Yeah.
I think so.
Hashtag no days off.
No, I think cowboy.
5-day-a-year occupation. It's a calling.
No.
You're like your priest doesn't just decide, I'm not going to be a priest today. Gonna bang in to being a man of the cloth. naked cowboy. It's who he is.
I don't know if he still does it. I think he had that run there where he was real hot, grinding hard. He was on everything. Every show in New York, you saw his ass in the background. Now I think he's kind of got a little comfortable up on the top of the mountain. I don't know if he's out here grinding like this fucking Spider-Man I saw today. This guy, he's wearing socks on his hands that are painted like fucking spider's web. I'm like, man, I'll give you a donation, but do better. Then this one guy was like, take a picture with Easy E or Easy G or something. He had like a fake nickname. It was just some basic ass Caucasian motherfucker holding a sign. Take a picture with him. And I took a picture with him. I was like, I have no clue who you are, but this is hilarious. And here's $5. He's like, really? I'll give you change. I was like, no, just keep it. Just keep it, man. I really respect what you're doing. This is a place where dreams come true.
Yeah. The guy in the Elmo costume that's just not enough Elmo to be sued by the television workshop or whatever. I would never in a million years give a nickel to these guys. I don't get how they feed themselves.
I do. I'm the guy. I'm the guy that you're mad at because I feel like, honestly, that's why I was given money. I think I was given money to supply the very dumb things of the world, the dumb markets, wrestling rings, for instance. I kept them alive for a little bit. Australian goats. I donated to them a little bit, kept that business afloat, even with a $7,500 shipping fee, kept that business afloat for a little bit. I make some bad decisions, and I'll pay those fucking street hustlers in Times Square for sure, every time.
Speaking of things that are not dumb, Cyber Monday is, what is Portnoy's status right now? Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he still in the coffin?
Great question, Jerry. And since we record this in the past, I think it's a really interesting answer I could give you. What I think has happened is so many T-shirts were bought. If you haven't bought one, buy one now. That it literally drained his bank account dry, and he is such a man of honor and integrity, he just decided to die. I think he is buried alive in that coffin right now because there's so many sales that have happened and are going to happen that it's really going to be tough for him to look himself in the mirror. Could be bad. Could be bad for business. But right now is a good opportunity for everybody to get the merch they've been waiting on all year. Brand new merch, fresh merch, Christmas merch, Hanukkah merch, life merch. Can we live?
I mean, all we want to do right here is get a good deal and live our life.
What?
That's it.
Can we live? Yes, you can. At barstoolsports.com. Go to the store and everything is 20% off.
And an A+ selection of ugly sweaters this Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, you are 100% right. You're looking to really make a splash at that Christmas or holiday party this year. A good, funny Christmas sweater is one of the things that really breaks the ice, if you will, Sean.
That's exactly what it's doing, Pat.
It's been a wild year. Oh, your sweater is hilarious.
It came so fast. I had to put it on.
What is that? Oh, that's a good sweater.
Is that really still a thing, the ugly sweater deal?
Yeah, AJ.
Obviously, yeah, you're pushing it and you're selling them.
Yeah.
Would you really attend an ugly sweater party now in 2017, almost 2018?
I think I have one on Saturday, actually, or Friday. One or the other. The first.
Are you hosting?
Well, I am. It's an interesting situation. It's a charity Christmas holiday party that I will be making an appearance at, but it's a charity that I do a lot of work with. So it's a pretty close hand-in-hand thing, and it's definitely a ugly Christmas sweater party, and I have no idea how it's going to go, but I do know I am going to have the best ugly Christmas sweater because I purchased mine. Where at, Sean?
Barstoolsports.com/store.
Yeah, 20% off I got it, too. They're going to be like, you got that thing for 80% of what it's actually worth? Are you kidding me? What a steal. You get 5 of those. It's basically a free one.
Yeah, and how about AJ throwing shade at the proud tradition of ugly sweater parties?
Yeah,
that is still a thing. That's paying the bills around here. That's keeping the lights on down at Barstool HQ. But it's like, you still go to that?
I'm not throwing any shade. Pat's, you're doing it for the kids, I guess, Pat. So you're probably giving them a discount. You're only charging $20K to show up to the charity event, as you said. Hey, Pat, if you heard that, Jerry, he slyly says, well, I'm going to make an appearance. He didn't say, I'm going to attend this great charity event.
No, I am. That's true, though. I take no money from that. I take absolutely $0 from it. It's a big event where we give away Christmas gifts to families of fallen veterans and people who have come on hard times. We give them an entire Christmas. It's like it's an event. It's a good time. I do it every year. And by the way, Never, ever have taken a single dollar from a charity in my life. That is the biggest douchebag move on earth. I didn't even know people did that. In fact, that AJ even mentioned it. I want to know which friends of yours are fucking doing that, because that's quite an interesting move. That's like Jared Fogle would do some of that shit.
Oh, Jared definitely took some charity money from different appearance things, I guess, before everything became public when he was living down the cul-de-sac from you.
You know, he was in the neighborhood. Now let's not get down the cul-de-sac.
Like, what do you mean in the neighborhood? What does that mean? How close?
He lived up in where the wealthy folks lived in town, like the AJ Hawk part of town. I lived on the west side in Brownsburg, and so it's probably like a 20-minute drive. But he lived very close to like two of my teammates. Two of my teammates lived in his neighborhood, and they had like choppers flying over their fucking house. Like, we were getting text messages that were like, a helicopter just flew over my house, and another one.
Those were just hoagie rolls coming in.
Alert!
Shake weights.
Alert!
That was a delivery of shake weights.
He's a fucking terrible human, that guy. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. The good news is if he ever moves back, you'll be able to track him on the sex offender registry, though.
By the way, that's a little bit of a nightmare situation to check that out, by the way.
There's an app, too. Oh, yeah. There's an app I
just check it out, and it just shows up in your life, just like out of nowhere. You're like, oh, there's a neighbor. He's right next door. That guy. Wow, I wish he's just one door over there. Just a little skip and a jump right down.
The guy really close to me doesn't know how to control himself sexually.
Wow, that's what this website just told me. Something you should probably do, though, if you have kids or something like that.
Did they tell you what the guy did? Because there are levels of being on the registry. Like, there are guys that are on it because they peed in public.
By the way,
I got
that threatened to me by a cop in college. I was pissing in a back alley at like 3:30. Every bathroom in Morgantown was closed. I had a guy that was doing a lookout for me and everything. We were waiting on our car to come pick us up. And he had to pee halfway through, and he went to his own alley and whoop, 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 whoop.
Shittiest lookout in history.
Ever. That will never stop, by the way. He and I conversate, and that gets brought up every single time.
You can't wait.
Just left post, bro. Just fucking abandoned mission. See you later.
Oh, was that you? Were you the lookout?
Fuck, I have a lazy eye, but I wasn't the lookout.
Take it easy, AJ. But anyways, he told me, he said, do you have your ID? I said, no, I only had my brother's at the time. August 12th, 1983. He's 4 years older than me. He is a Leo, I believe. I'm not sure. I think he's a Leo. I used to know his sign and everything because I used to be the best at getting in. His face and I look the exact same. He's just a miniature version of me, basically. He's a small little fella. I got to pee so bad. But he told me since he saw me peeing, that I might have to end up on the sex offenders list. And my life was like over. And I'm like sitting in that alley like, that lookout motherfucker just landed me on a goddamn Angie's list of sex offenders? Like, what the fuck what's that list called? He's
a pederast, dude. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I was so scared. They threatened my fucking entire life there. And then they just gave me a minor in consumption. I was like, that's a big difference, by the way.
If you get your brother's ID, then you're all set. Just identify yourself as him. He's on the registry. You're home clear, and you get to empty your bladder.
My brother cannot go to Spinnaker's in Panama City. I do believe he has been blacklisted from that place for quite a fucking great time. One particular spring break, we had a good time at that place. Jesus Christ!
All right, Pat, you have to pee, right?
Bad.
Go ahead and pee because AJ's got some business, and I've got a question for you, AJ.
You do? Well, Jerry, you know what? I'm going to talk about the new Big Ten tailgate show. You heard about this?
Absolutely.
Pat, you know all about this, right? So everyone knows we all love Saturdays, but during football season, they're truly exceptional, especially when you're watching Big Ten football. The old Big Ten Conference Championships coming up this weekend, Jerry, so you better keep a lookout. Wisconsin and Ohio State. So we know it's been a crazy year in the Big Ten, bunch of upsets, great storylines, great game-winning field goals, as Pat likes to say, hashtag for the brand. I guess what is this, a selfless plug in the ad read? Who typed this? That's garbage. How does Pat get his own personal hashtag in the ad read? Whatever. But we all know it all comes down to this Saturday. Wisconsin Badgers playing against my former team, the Ohio State Buckeyes, for all the marbles, as they say. The only way to catch up on anything you need to know about this game and everything else about the Big Ten is by watching BTN Tailgate on the Big Ten Network. Broadcasting live from the Big Ten Fan Fest in Indy. Pat's home city. Maybe he'll make an appearance. Who knows? Hopefully he does. Good thing he has to take a leak during this read anyway. This Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, BTN Tailgate will cover all things Big Ten football and the Big Ten championship game like no other sports network can. They're truly the pregame home for Big Ten fans. Our friend Spice Adams, who a lot of people have seen his videos go viral, he does a lot of impressions of different NFL players and locker rooms. He's hilarious. He's on there. You're going to want to watch. And one cool thing they have, though, if you ever see a sign a fan made on TV and think, I can do better, well, now you can with the Fanakin. Text your game day sign idea to 24410. That's 24410, and there's a chance the Fanakin will hold your sign up. Maybe you chirp your rival school. Maybe you let me know what you think of the old Buckeyes. Who knows? Anything you want, as long as you text in and tune in to BTN Tailgate on the Big Ten Network this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Jerry, can't wait till Pat gets back. Figure out if Pat typed up. He probably did.
Here he comes. Everything just goes right back to the brand. That's what we're doing. We're all just here to whore ourselves out for McAfee and Barstool Heartland. Here's the question I wanted to ask you. The win over Michigan, is that like as big a deal in your life as I think it is?
Yeah, so I mean, I have 3. They give these gold pants to everybody, a little pendant, and so I have 3 pairs of gold pants. And the one thing, I wish I should have 4. I definitely should. So it's a pretty big deal, man. It really is, especially to go to Ann Arbor and win like they did. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Because I feel like it's Ohio State, Michigan is like Army Navy. Like guys talk about that the rest of their lives, and if you ever were even marginally involved in that game, it's your year revolves around it. Am I overstating that, or is that like something you were that riveted to?
No, you're right. And the coach before Coach Tressel, John Cooper, who was very successful, won a ton of games, but he just did not have a good record against Michigan, and ultimately he got fired for that. So if you can't beat Michigan, it's tough to keep a job there. And look at now, Harbaugh's 0-3 against Ohio State, and they're talking about how the honeymoon's over. Is Harbaugh going to be there any longer? You have to find a way to win that game if you want to keep your gig. So who knows what the future holds.
I would love to see that. Both Harbaugh brothers, just their existence is just like an affront to me. I can't stand the way they act. I can't stand the way they make excuses. When he was on the sidelines, he was the worst, like demonstrative ref baiter in the history of coaching, and I couldn't care less about Michigan one way or the other, and yet I'm rooting for him to fail just because I can't stand the Harbaugh brothers.
Wait, you're rooting for both Harbaughs to fail?
Yeah, exactly. To me, they're a two-headed monster. They're a cat with 2 asses. Like I want both of them to fail, and I'm not. And so the fact that he might lose his job just because he can't win that one game every year, that to me is fried gold, man.
I don't know if he's going to lose. I doubt they fire him right now. But Pat, I don't know what they're saying in Indy. There's rumors that Harbaugh may go become the Colts' next coach.
That's been happening for like the last 5 years. That Harbaugh was going to come because Luck was there, and I'm not sure how tight Luck and Harbaugh. Maybe they're real tight. I don't know. I've never. I mean, I don't know. I have no clue how tight they are. But the rumors about Harbaugh coming back to the Colts because he played there, and then he coached Luck, like it all makes a lot of sense. But then everybody's like, no, it's not going to happen. Harbaugh to the Colts pops up just like Gruden to everywhere pops up, just because raises happen after. By the way, very woke to what Gruden did. ESPN leaked that he's talking to some. Then he has to they renegotiate his contract. He gets paid more money. What a fucking genius!
Pat, did you see what happened? Sorry to cut you off. To Greg Schiano, the Ohio State D coordinator. This all kind of happened today.
I've seen the backlash from Tennessee fans. Are fucking.
They pulled the gig. He had it wasn't officially signed, but they had an agreement and everything. And now Tennessee pulled the gig. He's not going to be their head coach.
The backlash on the internet was why Clay Travis yesterday tweeted that fans are going to leave the program due to the signing, and then it happened, in the internet, in the mob mentality that is the internet, everybody piped in and was like, no way is that representing us, and the school backed out of it. That's an interesting move. That's a cool move almost. If you're a fan base, that's a good way to keep your fan base around, by the way. Bad move is to open up the fucking stadium when it's 30 degrees outside and your team is 3-7 at the time. That's a bad move. There was a lot of complaints coming out of Indianapolis, by the way, about those fucking 30 degrees outside.
Why? What was the reason behind that? They played,
just so they can fucking sell merch, I bet. So you have to go buy a sweatshirt or a jacket or something like that. And if you're buying tickets to the Colts game, you're probably spending a lot of money anyway, so they probably know you'll buy merch. There's no way that, listen, I am not going to say that's definitely their motive behind it, but why the fuck else would you open it at 30 degrees whenever it's cold as fuck in the team? It's not like everybody's like diehard coming to watch the goddamn team right now. They don't even know anybody who's on the team other than Vinatieri. And they make it they piss some people off on the internet, just like Tennessee did, though. That shit is wild. All those coaches, Chip Kelly going to UCLA, all those old college coaches that are monsters that kind of fail in the NFL or whatever and go back to college, it's really interesting because I can't wait to see if Chip Kelly turns that UCLA team into a fucking monster team. UCLA would be a very cool team to be very good. I mean, they got links to Diddy, Snoop Dogg, everybody. UCLA is linked to everybody. That would be a cool team to watch them good. The Rosen one.
So, with the jobs that are going to open up, I'm asking myself, why aren't people looking for the next Sean McVay? Like, why do you want to recycle Gruden? I mean, we're 2 years maybe removed from the last time you heard a rumor about Bill Cowher coming back. Like, why aren't you looking for the next superstar? And so this was some guy who's been out of it for 3 years and, grab-assing with Mike Tirico and Sean McDonough for the last 8 years or whatever.
That McVay hire is dumb, by the way. What a fucking 31 years old, just dominating life and winning. And Johnny Hecker said it's because he just knows so much about all three phases. And I think that's a difference between the younger generation and an older generation of coaches is like, I think a lot of younger guys, I think are very much more dialed into all three phases as opposed to just their side of the ball, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not, because I feel like coaches almost get pigeonholed into a side of the ball all the way up. And I think McVay might have been able to kind of learn the whole fucking game, and it's paying off, dude. And he's attractive in Los Angeles and winning. What a winning for Sean McVay is at an all-time high right now.
And a huge win today. Huge win Sunday because this is on Monday.
That sucked. That sucked. That was a 2.5-point spread the Saints were getting, and it just was not good. I'll tell you what, Jerry, I had a good day today gambling, okay? But I thought I was going to have a goddamn clean ass sweep. I really did. I was like, I'm going to sweep this whole fucking thing. And the reason why I knew that is because when I make my bets, I put them all into one app. So that everything is there right in front of me to see. It is telling me if I'm winning or losing automatically. When a touchdown happens, they're like, not good, or great for you, buddy. There's green dots, there's red dots. There's every single one of my bets. Because listen, if you're gambling on sports, you know how it is. Sometimes you'll toss out an over bet just out of nowhere because you're like feeling a little frisky. Sometimes you'll make a bet out of nowhere last second, right before the opening kickoff, and you're like, oh yeah, I did make that bet. Remind yourself how awesome you are later while you're tracking that entire bet on your brand new Sports Action app, which is the incredible app for every single gambler. It is something that you need. It's the best app in the world for sports bettors, and it's not even close. You can track your bets in real time, get live odds for a dozen of books, including halftime lines, plus in-game live lines. Sports Action is free to download on iOS and Android, and I promise it'll be your favorite app to use while betting on sports. Get a 1-week trial of the free version. The free trial of the Pro subscription, which has a ton of features like parlay tracking, hedge opportunities, and more. Just click the link below. Download Sports Action right now. Just click the link below. That's like that McDonald's thing that happened the other night. Whenever they're like, insert, copy, paste. Did you see that? Whenever they got blown up by Wendy's all of a sudden out of nowhere. That's what it felt like right there. Click the link below in this broadcast and get the Sports Action app because it is awesome. But the fucking Rams showed up. They're that girly dude. The Saints running back is a fucking monster, by the way. What's his name? Nakamura? What?
Alvin Kamara.
He is incredible. That guy is a fucking. He's like got Le'Veon Bell type like shiftiness, and then seems to be a little bit faster. He's a fucking ball player, dude. That was a fun game to watch. And Sean McVay's beard is very aggressive. I think just throwing that out there.
Yeah, what a rookie class New Orleans has produced. Because like I said the other day, Marshawn Lattimore is not just the defensive rookie of the year. He's the best cornerback in football right now. And then you add Kamara, and
how cool would it be to be that athletic? By the way, to be the best corner in football, that'd be really cool to be that athletic. AJ, wouldn't it just one time wake up with that type of athleticism? I'd do so much cool shit, man. I go right.
That's the thing. What people don't realize too, Pat. I'm sure you see this. They do. They wake up. They're born with that. Yeah, that's not saying they don't work hard and they do all what everyone else is doing. But when you're that gifted and you're that much of a genetic freak, there's nothing that little Petey from Iowa can do to become that athletic. And people think like, oh, if I send my kid to speed training down at the local gym, he's going to run a 4.3. No,
he's not. Cuz he's not.
No chance. You can become the best version of you, but you're not going to be Marshawn Lattimore.
Hey, Joel Osteen. Okay, right there. Be the best version of you. I heard you motivating in there.
Yeah,
I heard
man.
that little drop.
I'll open my house though if there's a flood.
Respect. No, but I would love like Darius Butler is a corner that people probably don't even know. But when he showed up at the Colts, I was like, this guy is one of the most athletic humans on it. He just showed up at LA Fitness and was just fucking dunking on people here. Like this guy is 6'1", just like this freak, smooth, silky. He's never said he could because he's like a super humble dude. But I was like, I feel like if you practice, you could be in the NBA and make a lot more money. Like I feel like that, and you don't have to get hit or anything. He just loves football. He dropped a pick yesterday, but he alley-ooped it to his teammate. But it was just like those corners, man. It would be very cool to wake up that athletic one morning. It'd be great to wake up like a lot of people, really, to be honest.
Pat, when Darius Butler was a rookie, he played a charity basketball game up the street from me, and I went and watched it. The Patriots send these teams.
How good was he? Was he not fucking unreal?
It was like every play down, they just lob the ball up, and he would go up out of the skylight and then drop down through the other skylight and catch it and drop it in. It was. I've never seen a guy that could do the things that he did in person in my life.
He started posting videos of him like showing up at LA Fitnesses or whatever. And then, like, other people started posting videos of him playing at LA Fitnesses on social media. And I was just watching him. And, like, the next day, we walk in. It was, like, might have been OTAs or something. He was playing in the office. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here, dude? Like, what? I just watched some videos of you on the internet dunking on humans. I feel like you should go work on a three-point. You know what Steph Curry just signed for? I don't know if you know what that is. He just loved football, man. But those guys, unbelievable. Unfucking believable.
Are those videos like the same videos and pictures that Travolta has at LA Fitness? Late, like at 3 or 4 in the morning.
He loves those massages. That guy loves them. I don't know if you heard.
He likes getting late night workouts.
I like late night workouts too, just for future reference.
Mm-hmm. But you should see where he's filming his next movie, and maybe you could have a star sighting.
Just imagine me and John Travolta just in there, fucking Planet Fitness.
You're spotting him on decline bench. Actually, you're spotting him.
What's up, John? You're the one that I want. The one that I want. Ooh, 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 honey. What's up, John? You want a massage or what? We getting out of here? What's going on? Is it squat day? It is every day, isn't it? Let's go. John Travolta's a rich motherfucker, by the way.
That guy with a plane in it.
Dude.
Runway.
He's been in 7,000 movies, I think. I think he's been in 7,000 movies. Him and George Clooney. That fucker's in every.
Yeah, but how much money does he have left, and how much has he given away to the church?
Who cares? Dude, what a fucking scheme. We got to create one of them. We got to create one
absolutely.
Of them. A religion that we got to create.
It's nuts that we're not just getting together and forming our own cult. Being in charge of a cult it's the license to print money. It's all the free sex in the world that you could ever want. Like, why work for a living? Why not just get out and start I'm not a pedophilia cult. I'm talking about the good kind where you just scam weak-minded people out of their money.
Oh, Scientology.
Oh no, that's not a cult. That's a religion. We all respect that. It's a religion. They should keep their tax-exempt status. Please don't camp outside my house and spy on me. Please,
that is so
please,
interesting. Like, who is it? Somebody showed up in my comment section inviting me into the Illuminati. I just had to call this 1-888 number, and I felt so honored. Is that the same? It was a 1-888.
That's how they did. That's actually what I heard that. So they slide it in the comments where everybody thinks it's fake.
Yeah.
But it's real.
Yo, Illuminati showing up in the DMs. But anyways, I think they're just that Scientology. Like, I feel like we just got to go show up at a church. Those churches are around. I walked by a few when I've walked in other cities. We should show up. Maybe that's our way in, Jerry. Maybe you're right. Maybe we shouldn't talk bad about this hilariously terrible cult that has billionaires wrapped around their ball sack. Just Tom Cruise just donating salaries to this thing just so the aliens can come back, right? Isn't that what it is?
You find out after you've put in hundreds of thousands of dollars, you find out what it's really all about, and it's about an ancient warlord named Xenu, I think, who came to Earth, and he dropped souls into a volcano, and they inhabited the bodies of cavemen. And millions of years ago, the Earth looked just like it did in the 1950s. Like, people had cars and TV and stuff. This is what they teach.
Not a bad. I know about thought, though. I think I can get behind this one. What happened? They came out of volcanoes, dude. We came out of volcanoes. They dropped the
souls into the volcanoes,
bro. Some people say we came from an apple. Some guys said they fucking ate an apple, and then everybody else was created. You know,
those good apples.
That is insane. From the volcanoes, cuz all the way.
Yeah. Well, watch the South Park episode where they say exactly what the church believes, and they flash it on the screen. This is actual Scientology teaching.
Hey,
and again, I want to say I respect them, and
of course,
you guys go practice your religion and don't haunt our lives, because that's what they do to people who call them a cult.
AJ, have the Pittsburgh Steelers scored 28 points yet?
Yes, they have, Pat.
How many have they scored?
I think 28 exactly at the moment.
Fuck. I don't know what my over. I don't know if it's 28.5 or 28. So if you
wait, you pick overs for one team?
Oh, dude, it's my new thing. It's my new thing, and I think it's the right way to gamble. I do. Now, this sounds very much like a person who thinks he has something figured out, and he clearly doesn't, which a lot of people have told me. But the New England Patriots, whatever their team over under, fuck, I need them to kick a field goal. I need the Steelers. Evan Foxy, the Foxy one in here, just told me I had a bet at 28.5. Like the New England Patriots, their team over under their score, they've covered like the last 5 weeks. It's like the easiest lock. You're betting on Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels to figure it out, basically. And I'm like, yep, I bet on them to do that every single week. It pays off. Steelers and Philadelphia Eagles have been doing the same goddamn thing. So I'm hoping we get hot here. Steelers need to kick a field goal there real quick or get a safety. You know what? If J.J. Watt's brother wants to become a real fucking Watt all of a sudden, why doesn't he get a safety here and help me fucking cover this team over? Because I think I've hit the lottery on sports gambling.
Yeah, as a general rule, if you find yourself rooting for a safety,
yeah,
you're not gambling properly.
Like I pull for punts though, bro. Like I'm a big punt guy too. So you know I go against a lot of the rules of gambling. I'll pull for a safety hard. I would scratch a good itch right now on people's wherever to get a fucking safety right now at a fucking TJ Watt. Let's go. Sports gambling's a great time. You should really download the Sports Action app. All the green lights really make you feel good.
Pat, have you ever cashed out any money? Have you ever got a check sent to your house?
Absolutely not, AJ, because that's the illegal
That's how they
part.
get you.
No, AJ, that's the illegal part, AJ. I would never take money for this. This is all just fun and for pride. That's all, AJ.
It's not illegal.
Right. But if you lose, do they let you pay in pride?
What's that? What's that, man?
If you lose, do they let you pay just in pride?
Jerry, I don't. Okay? I don't lose anymore. Once I found out you could bet on individual team scores, boy, it's been a whole different world on Sundays. Now, granted, you're cheering for a lot of teams out of nowhere in a lot of awkward spots. I was in New York today watching the game, pulling hard for the fucking Patriots, pulling hard for the fucking Eagles, and the whole place was losing their mind for the fucking Jets. Some little Philly guy starting an EAGLES Eagles chant. I thought a war was about to start, but I was with them. I was fucking, well, let's go, Wentz train. Score points. Score points.
It was a bad weekend for bad losers. Like, okay, the Jets. What's his name? Robbie Anderson. His team's losing. His team's in the waiting, going nowhere this year. He gets a touchdown. He goes over to the sidelines, finds a camera, and looks into it and says, "Don't forget to vote for me for the Pro Bowl."
Wow. That happened?
Yeah.
Did you watch the clip, Jerry? Did you watch the clip? Spielman was doing the game, and he killed him. He annihilated that dude.
Who is this? Is like commentator looking out for other commentator here.
Well, Chris Spielman, he's an Ohio State dude too, but Spielman is all football and all business, and he said something about, how about you find a way to outscore the opponents in the second half one time this year before you start lobbying for Pro Bowl votes, kid, or something. It was amazing.
Hey, Spielman, there's probably a pretty big bonus on that Pro Bowl roster, okay? Why don't you have a little respect for that guy's pocketbook? Jesus.
And I will add to that, Ndamukong Suh loses by 18. Patriots covered, by the way. 16.5, and they covered. And afterwards he said, they ran away from me all game.
That's a hilarious line. That's a good little humble brag.
They averaged like 5.5 yards
as well, Jared. I hope they ran away from him. Josh McDaniels was smart. He would.
Could you imagine running into Ndamukong Suh in an alley? I'd run away from his fucking ass, too. That guy's a fucking monster. But you're saying he shouldn't have said that aloud.
I mean, yeah. Is that really the message you want to be putting across? Like, hey, at least I did my job? Is that what he's saying? Like, you just got rolled up.
Everybody thinks they're going to get fired.
Your team's going nowhere.
Jerry, like 25 to 30 people on that team all think they're getting fired. So they don't even really give a fuck about what Ndamukong Suh's saying because he's taking up 20% of the salary cap anyways. So he can do whatever the fuck he wants. But there are a lot of guys that are like, hey, that publicly doesn't look good. Like, I think people would say that. Like, hey, publicly that shit's not going to look good. You got to know. Like, the PR people for the Miami Dolphins are going to have a conversation with Ndamukong tomorrow and be like, hey, you understand that doesn't look good publicly or whatever. And yeah, whatever, I'll apologize. But everybody else in the locker room is like, what the fuck ever, dude, whatever. You're right. They're probably like, you're fucking right. They did run against you, and we got fucking slaughtered. We lose. We lose again to the Patriots.
Jerry, so what? So I understand you don't want to say that stuff. It makes it look like, yeah, we lost. Who cares? You shouldn't be talking about yourself. But do you want guys just to give cliche answers? Or do you want them to speak their mind?
That's a great fucking question out of the Hawkmeister.
If you just got your ass kicked, which you did, if your team's going nowhere, which they're not, I don't know that that's what you want to say about yourself. I think it's a bad reflection on the team. I think it makes you look like a meathead.
Yeah,
too,
but I mean, didn't Ndamukong Suh openly said he's okay to go to a bad team to get a gigantic check? Like, you think anybody doesn't understand that Ndamukong Suh, this is a business to Ndamukong Suh? He's friends with Warren Buffett, bro. Like, winning a Super Bowl is awesome. But, boy, those playoff checks to Ndamukong Suh are next to nothing to him. I don't think that's saying anything out of the norm for what people think about him already. He's a businessman. He's a fucking businessman who's good at football.
AJ, would you say something like that?
No, but it's just that's not my personality.
It's different people, though. You know, it's very different people.
I would try to be authentic to who I was, but if that's who he is and he speaks his mind, we don't have to agree with it, but
he stomped
I'm okay
a
with
dude in
someone
the
saying
dick.
what they want.
Didn't he stomp a guy in his ball sack?
Yeah, he had multiple infractions
once.
against the Packers, where he stomped some guys.
Multiple infractions.
He had one once where it was the game after he got out of the probationary period. It's like 2 years after you've had an infraction, they kind of stop counting it. The very next game, he stomped a guy. And I was interviewing Michael Irvin about it. And Irvin, I love him like I love few people in the world. And he said, listen, I have been on probation, okay? And you know the exact day that you are off probation. In other words, he's saying, like, Sue waited until he was not going to be in jeopardy from the league and then stomped a guy.
Hey, by the way, Jerry Thornton, impressionist. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that he did impressions right there? Sean, you're new to the show. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
He's an impressionist. He just did Michael Irvin right there.
Hey, Sean, has anyone told you that you look like the starting left tackle for the Packers?
No one has that.
Bakhtiari. Oh, man, you got a pony. Is that a pony? Is that a tight pony you got too? Yeah.
Got a little pony going. I just don't like haircuts anymore.
He's got John Stamos hair too, so like you wouldn't want to.
Where are you from, Sean? Where are you from?
Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. He's a California kid as well.
Well, my dad. Every 5 years of my life, I figured out I have a new brother and sister. Like I find out randomly, and so far I've gotten a brother and two sisters since I was 20. I found out about. So we might be related.
Maybe.
Who was your dad, Genghis Khan? How does that happen?
My dad was just roaming the streets in the late 70s and the early to mid 80s, just not pulling out and keeping it moving.
His father was a rolling stone.
Was your dad just one of those guys that just
wherever he laid
pie?
his seed
That's what it
was his home.
I was born 9 months after Valentine's Day, which means I came from Valentine's Day sex, and he just took off like peace. I hope you enjoyed the pizza or whatever.
See ya, cuz. See ya, man. Great hair though. He gave you great fucking.
Got good hair.
Great hair. You and the Packers left tackle.
So
You ever put that in a-
you're saying your dad's out of the picture?
Yeah, no, I don't talk to my dad.
Mom's.
But my mom's been remarried for 20 years.
Oh, okay. How's your stepdad?
Oh, he's great. Greatest dude on earth. He just does
good for
whatever
you,
my mom
man.
wants.
His mom is fucking awesome too, by the way. His mom is a really cool lady. She came through the office like 2 weeks ago. She taught him how to cook. His food is incredible. This motherfucker can cook.
I've seen the clips. Were you there? Who hired the mariachi band?
That was my lady.
Yeah.
I think it was my lady brought it in.
Yeah, I just took advantage of them being there, and I just happened to match them a little more, so it looked like I was in charge of them coming there because I look like them.
You think that happened? Who said that?
Well, several people were like,
I want to let you know that I never thought once because you were half Mexican that you brought in the mariachi band. I want you to know that though. I want you to know that I did not do that one time. I did not judge.
Are you by trade a chef?
No, I'm a comedian for the last 15 years, and
I knew that. I know. I'm just asking for the audience.
Oh yeah,
AJ lives in his own fucking
all right.
world. It's just him and Brady Quinn in there.
I wouldn't expect for AJ to know that shit about me, and I just if you want to just be a comedian only. If at the beginning part, you better be able to make your own food or you're not going to eat much. So I had some cool roommates and we just used to cook a lot and it just kept going. And
you should stop by the cellar and get a quick set.
That someday, you got to live. I mean, that's a tough one to get into, and you have to like be here or.
Sean, are you playing Wiley's Comedy Club in Dayton, Ohio, coming up?
No, that's Todd.
In January, I am.
Oh, are you? Because Todd and Vibs are going there.
The 9th.
So my oldest brother. He listens and he texts me and asks me, "Are you going to see Pat? He's doing stand up at Wiley's." And I grew up going to Wiley's Comedy Club. Dave Chappelle used to stop by there, and I said, "Really? Are you sure, Pat? I don't know if Pat's doing clubs like that." And it was a couple other guys from your show.
Yeah, I'm not. I will not be there. I do not. I don't want people to think
I said Pat's way above that.
No, I am not. No, I am not. I am not. Not outside of Indianapolis. I am not. I sell a fucking ton of tickets in Indianapolis, though. 6,000 seater. How you doing? Outside of that, though, none. I don't venture out much. I don't venture out because honestly, to do a show, it's a lot. Dealing with promoters is a fucking nightmare of a situation. Running the tickets, the entire show. I like to have a really good show, and it's a fucking lot of work. And if I'm not going to sell a lot of tickets, I'm like, well, let's just wait until I'm better. Anyways, let's wait until I'm better, and then we'll just continue to grow.
That club's great.
How does a punter originally from Pennsylvania, now in Indiana, make friends with a half Mexican from L.A. and end up?
I was looking for an opener.
Shacking up.
I was looking for an opener. So I rented out a theater, and I sold tickets, and then I had to put a show together after the tickets were sold. I'm like, fuck, I got to do this. So I had to go find an opener, and they were doing this Indianapolis stand-up show because a lot of comedians live in Indianapolis because it's a central location, right?
Yeah, I moved there from L.A. a couple years ago because there's so many comedy clubs that don't pay for travel for the headliner. But, I'll still get $1,000 for the weekend. And but I just ended up I just happened to be on that show that night that Pat rolled into.
And I watched it, and he did his bit about sandwiches, and I was like, man, this motherfucker is talking to my heart right now. And I asked him if he'd open for me. He opened for me, and we've been tight ever since. It's just kind of the way it goes. It's been a really cool thing because he's been doing comedy for so long, right? 15 years. So he has so much knowledge. He opened up for Gabriel Iglesias for a while in arenas and shit. So he has so much knowledge. So like, if I do something, he'd be like, "Oh, you should think about doing this a little bit." Like he's like, it's like I'm very lucky that he's around, really. And he cooks.
Does Gabriel go by like Big Puffy or something? What's his name?
Fluffy.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah. I know who he is.
Yeah, he almost owns Comedy Central. His specials just run back to back on it.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah.
Arenas, he does clean comedy. I don't know how motherfuckers do it, Jerry. I don't know how motherfuckers do it. I don't get it. But I respect it because they get so rich. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just want funny. If it's filthy and funny, I'm fine with that. If it's clean and funny, I'm fine with that. But I'm like PG-13. That sort of works for me. And once in a while, you're in a club where you go, PG-13's not going to get it done here. Like, these people need me to throw in some sentence enhancers. You know, it's kind of a rough crowd.
By the way, you should
or
do
whatever.
that every time, Jerry. Sentence enhancers should always be used in stand-up comedy. Just from my short, brief time in stand-up comedy, right? I mean, sentence enhancers are a good thing. That's basically my entire fucking show. What do you mean?
But then what about fluffy? Like, that there's a guy who works clean and is still funny. Like Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, but PG-13, like, don't you say fuck anyways in PG-13? What are you not talking about? Anal or beads, or what? What aren't you talking about? Like, what is a PG-13 stand-up set? Because you can say fuck in PG-13, can't you?
It's doing dick jokes where you don't necessarily say dick.
Oh,
we don't
so like
use,
dirty.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm PG-13. I slip into an R. But I think about, like, your guy you're talking about, Seinfeld. I'll use Jim Gaffigan as an example. I think they do stuff that they could do in front of a elementary school.
Gaffigan opened for the Pope, dude. Like, he opened for the Pope.
And the Pope specifically says no dick jokes.
I don't think to Jim Gaffigan. I'm not sure, but what a fucking
Jim Gaffigan tours around on a tour bus with his family and all of his kids.
45 kids.
It's basically like an RV trip, but on a tour bus, and he just makes millions of dollars.
I got to intro him in Indianapolis, and because we followed each other on Twitter, name drop. I got a relationship with Jim Gaffigan. He's a Colts fan, kind of, sort of. Only whenever they put him in videos, but like, he came and we met each other and like followed each other on Twitter. It was like kind of a cool relationship. He's like, hey, I'm doing a show in Indianapolis. Do you want to intro me? I'm like, yeah. So he invites me there. I go into his green room and he's asleep. Like, his assistant person like just lets me in and he's just sleeping on the couch. I'm like, all right. And he's like, Pat. And he like wakes up and I'm like, yeah, how's it going, man? He's like, tired from traveling, you know, like he's got this like slow talk and he offers me like all these hors d'oeuvres he has in there, like literally donuts for days in there. Because I guess every donut company just sends him donuts. Like, so he just has 45 dozen donuts in his fucking green room. And I was like,
based off his bits.
Yeah, all of his bits. He's like got all this shit. And I was like, what do you want me to say? He was like, just say my name. Right. That's all I care about, really. And I went out and I introed him. He did a fucking arena. He did a fucking arena in Indianapolis. And he just crushed. It was clean for an hour and 15 minutes. And I was like, man, I have no clue how your brain can do that. Because mine would, 2 minutes in, maybe 34 seconds into that thing, I'm thinking about saying fuck for the first time. I restrained myself for the first time. Then I get 1 minute and 26 minutes later. And I fucking just let it eat. Just like, listen, this is going to be much better if we just let me fucking do this, all right? If your kids are offended by it, take them out. We'll give you a refund, but this thing's about to fucking go down, all right? Let's just talk about it. It's just a little sentence enhancer, Jerry. Just a little sentence enhancer.
There you go. Little color. Little something to, wake up the back of the room a little bit. John, are you clean?
I mean, I don't get dirty, but I definitely cuss. Fuck is definitely my favorite word for sure.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. It's just so. There was a Bob Knight video where he's talking about why it's his favorite word, and it's one of the best YouTube videos I've ever seen. He's like, well, you can say in any situation. You can be happy. Oh, fuck. You can be sad. Fuck. Or you can be angry. Fuck you. It's like he does this whole thing whenever he's just doing a mic test. It's before an interview, and then they released it, and it's like it's just an incredible video, and he's so spot on. AJ, are you going to go to the comedy show in Dayton?
I don't know. I got to see. I saw at Wiley's. I saw some studs come through there. That's the one. Chappelle. Yeah. He lived in Yellow Springs, not too far. He used to come by.
A lot of those clubs, man.
I like that club a lot.
Yeah, a lot of those clubs, like Kevin Hart and Ron White, the Bob and Tom show in Indianapolis, which is a show literally in Indianapolis. Like, everybody's come through there. A lot of the clubs in the Midwest, like big name people, just come and do it. It's really cool. It's a fucking cool little spot.
Wait, are Bob and Tom still going?
Tom is. Bob is retired.
Okay, good. So, he's not. He's alive though.
Alive, yeah. He's
so it's
certainly
just Bob.
It's just Tom.
No,
It's Bob is retired. It's just and Tom. But imagine if they would have called it Tom and Bob from the beginning. It would be a real fucking change up there, wouldn't it? You know? So anyways.
The Tom and Bob show.
Not that good.
And I'll see them no matter what they call themselves, as long as they don't do fucking magic. Because magic sucks.
I can't believe you just said that. Honestly, that is spit in my face. You just did.
It just frustrates me, and I can't get over it. Every time I see a guy,
wow.
I just want to stop entertaining me and just tell me how you did it so I can move on with my life. I saw Penn and Teller once in a theater, and they did a trick, real elaborate one, Then they explained how it was done. They did it they took all the glassware that they used and used clear glassware so you could see how it's done, and then did it again, and you still didn't understand how they did it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's not entertainment. That is just.
How is that not entertaining?
That's like having an ad read inside of an ad read.
Bang! I did that earlier. So you don't like it? Penn and Teller have a show called like Fool Us or something like that, or Amaze Us. I forget what it's called. And I get what's that called? Shawshanked. I'll buy that show. I'll watch it. Not a good host. I think she's a very nice person, but I don't think she hosts the show well. But I very much enjoy Magic a lot. I think it's so cool. The amount of work they got to put in, the amount of scheming, like it's such a hustle thing. And I very much respect. I love it. Like I want to be an advocate of the Magic community. Like Can't See Me. What's that show?
I don't know, but you should also play Magic the Gathering, I think, as well. Just really get balls deep in it.
I just don't know if I like table games, Dungeons and Dragons possibly, but I just don't know how much. I love it. I absolutely love it. What's that thing? Now You See Me. Now You See Me. You ever watch it? I've seen that show. I've seen that movie 45 times. Now You See Me 2, also a great movie. And what's Billy Ho's name in real life? Billy Ho?
From White Man Can't Jump?
Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson crushes it. And Now You See Me Too. He plays 2 characters. Just something to think about. Magic is my fucking thing, though. I can't believe you hate Magic. It's so much.
It's
what a life.
Of
what a fucking existence.
It's, again, being reminded just how stupid I am as a form of entertainment, that I can't figure it out. And I've never been able to figure out one in my life. I was on a cruise ship a while ago, and it was the most hack magician of all time. Like, he had the levitating lady with the hoop that he runs over her. It's the oldest trick in the world. I still don't know how it's done.
We got to get to the bottom of that, because I don't know how the fuck that works either.
Me neither. Dude, I don't understand how people levitate either. And I got this disappearing handkerchief trick that is just mind-blowing. But I don't have the handkerchief on me, so I'm a bit of an illusionist myself.
He bought a fucking magic kit one time. He just shows up when I was at his house, like, what is it? Oh, I got this magic kit. And the only thing he gave a fuck about was that handkerchief and thumb.
I did it on my fucking next comedy show, though. I did it next stand-up show. I did it. I did it on stage.
People.
Yeah, I did it on stage because I was so fucking jacked up by it. And just
that's a business move, Pat. If you know, Lou Holtz gets paid a ton of money, believe it or not, to go around and give speeches, and he starts out each speech with some newspaper magic trick where he folds it up and rips it in a million pieces and then puts it back together, I think.
I don't want to speak to anybody. I don't want to speak to shit.
Last episode you told us some corporation you spoke to where you were added to the email chain that you weren't supposed to be on.
Yeah, that's why I don't like doing it. Is because I feel like I feel like I have a boss all of a sudden again. Whenever I don't do it. I didn't like that email thing. I didn't like being on there being called a loose cannon 5 times in the email strain, not knowing that they sent it to me. I don't like.
Well, I like the quick $50,000 you got for 30 minutes.
I did like that a lot, but believe me, AJ, this ain't about money to me, bub. Nothing's about money to me. I like to spend it a lot, but if I don't have it, that's okay with me. It's like I just like people to want to be at my show as opposed to being forced to be at my show, which is those corporate things. Because, boy, if you have no clue what you're about to get from me, boy, I feel bad for you because I'm coming. Like, I'm coming hot. I am coming hot and hard, and it's going to be a good time. You are going to listen for about an hour. And your life is it's going to be a very ride. We're going to go on a ride together. And some people being forced into that situation, it's just not good. It's not good for them. It's not good for me because I can see it on their face that they do not like me. And I'm just like, hey, this is on you. This is on your boss. No, I'm sorry. They paid me to be here. You just better fucking enjoy it, though. I'll tell you that right now, lady. So that's how I feel about that.
Because you are a loose cannon, clearly. Can I call you that?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right.
But it's just, I don't think it's very true.
I'm coming from a place of love, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And
unlike this tight-ass CEO who is like just giving you shit.
He's a loose cannon, this kid. Fucking loose cannons here.
We need to give him a strict rule guide, a guide for what he can and cannot say, because we all do know the guy that got arrested for allegedly swimming in the canal and tweets pictures of Andrew Luck half naked is a loose cannon. I just didn't have to say it out loud, you know? Just think it. Just think it, AJ.
Hey Jerry, was it you who said... There you go. Right into the mic, please. Was that you
There's no cough button. What do you want me to do? I don't know. There's just a tape.
I'm joking. It's all right, buddy. It's okay,
Because I feel bad. Because
See?
He's sensitive.
Yeah,
it's
that's
exactly
okay.
what a loose cannon would do.
Loose cannon shit right there.
That's why he's the most dangerous man in the corporate speech business.
That's right. If you hire
Jerry,
me-
was it you that were the Chiefs your Super Bowl pick, Jerry, early in the year?
Or early on, yes, and they have joined the No Win November club. It's them. God, who else?
Who did I say was really good? The
obviously
Raiders.
Browns. Yeah, it was Kansas City, Cleveland, Chicago, the Dolphins, and Denver. No wins in the month of November. And Kansas City was scaring the crap out of me the first month of the year because they weren't just good. They were rolling on people. They were doubling up teams. They were scoring 40 points a game. Now Andy Reid's having to answer questions about whether he's going to bench Alex Smith or not, which is lunacy. But I mean, it's when it's at that point when you've lost. Is it 6 straight now?
How's it happen, man? They were so good. What happened? AJ, what happens if there's no gigantic injury loss and there's nothing? How does somebody just turn directly left out of nowhere? Like, what is, and this is me being 100% serious because in my position, it was very much if I was doing well, our specific group was doing well, right? So I knew exactly why. If we sucked, it was probably my fault. For a offense or defense to take a direct left turn and do what the fuck is going on? How does that happen? Like, how do the Kansas City Chiefs come out looking so fucking good? Yeah, I understand having a bad game and being off rhythm, but just losing it completely, how does that happen?
Well, they're 6-5 right now. I think the only answer is that they were never that good. Everyone crowned them champs after 3 weeks. It seems like.
I don't know, dude.
Right.
Tyreek Hill was throwing up the deuce sign, running by people. Alex Smith was dropping like 55-yard balls right into a fucking basket.
I'm not saying they weren't good. They just weren't great. They weren't as good as everyone thought because the beginning of the season, as I said before, September doesn't matter. It matters for the teams that think they're good, but the teams that know they're good, it doesn't matter. September is just a tune-up for the rest of the year.
But do you remember how good Kareem Hunt was?
Yeah.
I mean, in October, they were talking about him as an MVP candidate. The leading rusher today was Alex Smith. He had 35 yards.
Yeah, what happened? That came up out of nowhere. Kareem Hunt just
Hunt's
disappeared.
line was, 11 carries for 17 yards. Like, he was picking up, I think he was averaging 17 yards the first couple of weeks.
Now, as a guy who has 2 rushes in the NFL, I must say that those 0-yard rushes are much harder than the 18-yard rushes. So I know Kareem Hunt's going through some things, but we are suspicious on what the fuck is going on over there in the home of great barbecue and the home of the Chiefs. That's what they do, AJ. That's what they do.
Thank you for reminding me. I'd forgot about that.
Well, just like in Baltimore. Oh, say can you?
Hey, what about the Bears? Do you know the guy that sings the anthem for the Bears?
Yeah, he
every once in a while.
He sang it at the Indianapolis 500 last year, and I think he's probably going to do it again. He just screamed. They screamed that whole goddamn thing. It's a very passionate anthem.
Oh, he's awesome. He does the Blackhawks games as well, and the crowd gets juiced, man. That dude's like a opera type dude who gets into it.
Yeah, and the whole place just screams the whole time. I love it. It's just like you're fucking going to war almost. It sounds like a war chant.
They may need some help, though, man. The Bears are, they're struggling. I don't think anyone ever picked them to win the Super Bowl, but, man, they are not a great team.
Did you see the cleverness of the Chicago Bear fan base? Did you see they had a sign in the crowd that was the old school internet search Firefox logo? Fucking clever. So clever, man. John Fox, what happens with him? I think he's a good guy. I assume people like him, but what happened? I mean, his teams are normally not great, right?
Well, he doesn't have a quarterback in Chicago. I mean, they drafted, they hope Trubisky's the guy, but we don't know if he's the guy or not.
You do need a quarterback so bad in the NFL. Boy.
Well, and their first-round picks keep getting hurt, it seems like, too. That doesn't help.
Right. A bunch of years ago, I would have given Fox a ton of credit for, he was handed Tim Tebow when he was in Denver.
Oh,
and he took that team. That team won a playoff game. And it was like, this guy might be the greatest coach of all time.
It's a great throw, too, wasn't it? He just delivered that ball right on the money, in stride. The guy took off right past. I mean, it was a perfect throw.
Demaryius Thomas, against a zero blitz. Tim Tebow. We live in a world where Tim Tebow won a playoff game against a Dick LeBeau defense. Dick LeBeau is already in the Hall of Fame, and he beat him in one play. And I said, John Fox, maybe the guy can coach, but he hasn't done squat since.
Dick LeBeau might play coach forever, by the way. He might really do it. The Titans had a hell of a game. The Titans are a whole new team. The Titans might be Mariota rocking a mustache, by the way. Big fan of what he's doing on his face. I enjoy a good mustache. I was thinking about, so this is the move I was thinking about. I got my hair did here in New York. I got a New York fade. I was thinking about shaving the beard with a Dollar Shave Club razor that you can get online for just a couple of bucks and dyeing my mustache black for tomorrow, Cyber Monday, because I have like a dirty blonde color mustache, which really just looks dirty. But I feel like if I go black, it'll really let people know that I got some hair I'm working with here. It might make me look more like an adult. You know what I mean?
Like Hulk Hogan when he went to Hollywood Hogan. Didn't he dye his little stubble?
Brother. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Get him on your show, Pat.
Who?
Hulk.
Okay. Can you text him for me, AJ? Thanks, man. It'd be great. Also, I'd like Sal and Murray from the Impractical Jokers on my show, too. Murray's a little bit of a weird dude, but I love the show, so I would like to interview any of them.
For people who don't know, AJ had Sal from Impractical Jokers on your podcast, and I once had Murr on my old WEI podcast. So that's a pretty good claim to fame. I mean, I
follow all of them on Twitter, and I've tweeted them numerous times. No response, nothing. I used to watch hours of that show at night when I go home. What a fucking hilarious show. I knew there was a phase. I could even tell when they hated each other. Like, you knew whenever there were some bad things going on behind the camera. Whenever Sal was on the phone all the time. I was deep in the Impractical Jokers lifestyle there for a while.
Wait, you think they hated each other?
At some point, yeah. I think there was like a season. There was a season there, like late season, where you could tell a little tension was in. I used to binge watch this shit, legit.
Oh yeah,
binge watch it. It is so hysterical. I went to one of their live shows. Not the best, but they had the videos of the actual show during their live show, and those were by far but those were like the live show specials, and they were incredible. It was They're just hilarious. They're a great TV show. Impractical Jokers is a great TV show.
I feel like every guy in New York City is like them. That safe assumption? You seem to spend more time in the city than I have.
I don't know. I don't know if I've met I don't know. I don't think so. I think in our office here, we have a lot of hilarious dudes here at the Barstool office, but I don't think I get into genuine conversations with anybody except for a guy who was getting coffee in front of me. I was getting a tea. I'm a tea guy. I'm sophisticated, obviously. I watch live shows. Thank you. I've seen Hamilton. So the guy, I talked to him.
Twice.
Thank you. Just in case you missed the first one, you got to watch the second time because you never know what's going to happen. Did Hamilton die? Who knows? Maybe he'll live forever. But I was getting at, he owned a tech company out here. So I feel like everybody here is just hustling, grinding. I don't know if they're hilarious like the Impractical Jokers, if that makes sense. I think there's a lot of hustlers out here, not hilarious humans. I don't know, though. I might be wrong.
Yeah. Well, talk to the guys in Times Square again. Like find out who's the man behind the costume.
I don't know. I think they're going to show up on that website. I think I'm going to show up at that website, and it's just going to be like ping, ding, 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 ting, ding, 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 ting, Spider-Man. Yikes.
Okay, get back to Kansas City real quick. I want to get into the colossal mess that is the Buffalo Bills because they have created such a shit show for themselves. Like Tyrod Taylor, I think we all agree was a pretty good quarterback, like decent, maybe middle of the pack, top half of the league, maybe. They bench him because they decide, well, he's not the future. To hell with this. They put in Nathan Peterman, who made a mistake or two.
Something had to have happened. Something had to have happened between that coach and Tyrod Taylor. Something had to have happened that week. There's no way that they're just benching him for just to do it. Like unless that Nate Dogg guy is just incredible in practice, he must be a fucking weapon in practice. He must be slicing and dicing that defense like no other. If they thought he was a special and they just had a colossally terrible day. But Tyrod Taylor is a good football player, and I feel like he's pretty well liked by that team. And they got a lot of money invested in him, right? Didn't they pay him a pretty big deal? I mean, I didn't understand the benching out of nowhere. I think something had to have happened.
What would have happened, Pat? Like, what could happen?
maybe like miss a meeting or something. I don't know if like you don't show up.
You get benched if you miss a meeting.
If you're I don't know. You don't know if you're the starting quarterback of a team. Have you ever been a part of a thing where a starting quarterback has ever been late to a meeting or something like that? Never. And that coach seems to be a guy. I mean, he benched his starting quarterback out of nowhere. He seems to be a guy who's probably could be pretty strict when it comes to that type of shit. I don't know. Something had to have happened. There's no way you just unconsciously you're a NFL head coach and make that decision out of nowhere and let him stay for the 5th pick. Like let him stay on the field. Not just 1, not just 2, not just fucking 3. You let him stay on for another one and then another one. Like there had to be some real beef going on somewhere.
And by the way, he threw a variety of picks.
Oh.
He threw a pick about every way you can throw a pick. He threw him short. He threw him long. He threw him rolling out. He threw him from the pocket. And they were, I think, the number 2 wild card team when they made a switch at quarterback. So now they're out of the race. They might get back into it and may lose a playoff spot because they decided to switch quarterbacks in the middle of the season for reasons that aren't clear to anybody.
By the way, Brian Hoyer, is that his name? Living his best life right now. Walked into the stadium with Tom Brady today, all dressed up on TV. He knew it. Tom walked in there. He's living his best life right now. Good for him.
Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo. And if you saw this, he got in for the final series. It was a blowout. They were losing. Clock's running down. CJ Beathard gets hurt. They bring in Jimmy G. Why he's not starting, I have no idea. And he throws a touchdown.
Wait, what happened? I didn't see what happened. What happened with the Niners?
Final seconds of the game, Jimmy Garoppolo throws a touchdown.
How long did he play?
Like the final minute.
What?
The greatest quarterback to never play.
Why would they waste him? What? It's like I feel like right now they're at like a red shirt situation with a kid. It's like you don't want to waste the red shirt at any time that's like a wasteful time. Like let's make sure we have him in a good holy shit, it's 28-28, 53-yard field goal attempt. Is this for the Steelers? Let's go, Boswell. I got money on this, cuzzo. Let's go, baby. Hold on. I'm going to do one of these for sure, bro. Okay. Chris Boswell.
Up.
What do you do?
Boom.
Let's fucking go, baby! Boswell silky smooth from 53 in Heinz Field with AJ Hawk. Right over his shoulder, the handsome son of a bitch, and Jerry Thornton from New England. Chris Boswell just won me a bunch of money. Call God. Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben. Sitting on the sideline, Brett Hundley wearing a jacket. Antonio Brown just dabbed on some fools. Jordan Berry, Australian punter, is great at his job. Good for the fucking Steelers. Good for my bet on the over. Use the Sports Action app for sure. Ben Roethlisberger walking off like a champion. Guys, what a fucking moment right there. Sports Action just turned to green right there. That fucking button bubble. What up, bro?
So this just happened. The over-under for Pittsburgh was 28.
And a half.
The over.
28 and a half.
And they covered as the clock expired.
Yep. That just happened. Yep.
That's one of the great gambling moments I ever saw. Can you tell us how much? Gamblers never really give you an amount.
No, well, so I just recently got into gambling. If you do recall, I couldn't do this before. Yep. So this season's my first time. Every weekend I'd be with Dave Portnoy, who's gambled on every fucking game. And I saw him just riding these roller coasters of a day while I'm bored as fuck. I'm like, man, I want to be a part of that. So I told him, I said, just whatever bet you make, I want to make. And he's like, it's big. And I'm like, yeah, whatever bet you make, I make. It's cool. I feel like we're going to win or whatever. And then he doubled it, and then he told me the price, and I was like, no way am I gambling that much. That is an absurd amount of cash that you're gambling on little teenagers playing football who could be fucking hammered drunk 2 nights ago. That's a lot of money. So I don't gamble anything absurd. But I just basically that made my day, though, be like a clean sweep. My day today has just been a fucking monster day. Like, this is a big day for me to realize that I'm done with the tomfuckery of gambling, and now I'm a real gambler. Now I understand what I'm doing, I think. This betting on single team scores is one of the smartest bets, I think, in sports gambling. That's what I think. Because you're honestly gambling on the quarterback, figuring it the fuck out. So you're betting on people, not a team, basically. And I think that's a big deal. I think that's a big deal, especially when Gronk is playing well.
And sometimes the kicker.
Yeah, big fan of what Boswell just did. Appreciate you, cuz. Appreciate you, man. I think you might listen to the show.
53-yarder inside at Heinz Field, too. The wind swirling. How tough is that kick, Pat?
That's fucking very difficult. There was a time, there's a train that I'm about to toot the horn of. There was a time where I was one of the only people to kick a 50-plus yard field goal there. I hit a 51-yarder or something like that. And I remained on that list of small people for a long time until very recently. Guys have just been hitting them from 50, but it's never far. It's never like a long 50 because the grass is terrible and the wind is so gusty. So it just like comes up out of nowhere. So it's just like if there's a constant gust, if there's a constant breeze, you can read it, right? You can fucking read it. Anybody who's ever played golf or anything like that understands that. You can read it. But when that shit starts gusting and then just stops out of nowhere, boy, it's a complete fuck you. Like, and the flags are not the same as what's happening in the middle of the field. So like punters are dealing with a completely different animal because we're dealing with an altitude that's up above where everybody else is. Like quarterbacks aren't throwing it up where we're hanging out at. So the wind up there is different than the fucking wind on the fucking it's a nightmare. Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare because you have no clue what's going to happen. You have no idea if it's going to pop up or not.
Did you ever get to punt in conditions like Mexico City?
No,
I mean, obviously
that'd be
Denver.
Fucking awesome. I'm gonna go shoot something there this offseason though. I'm gonna work out pretty heavily and try to just hit just for the internet because I can film it 100 times. I only got to make it one time. But I'm going to go down there and try to put up some astronomical numbers down there with my amigos and amigas for sure. Because those balls are just fucking flying. Goskowski crushed that ball for sure. You still got to hit it well for it to stay straight for that long. But boy, that was I wish he would have been able to go further for the record. That would have been awesome.
Okay, that's why I asked, because I'm going to be critical of my spirit animal, Bill Belichick, right now, and say shame on him for not trying a 70-yarder. And I don't care if he had to back up 10 yards and take a knee. The world needed to see Gosowski kick one from the other side of the 50. Because that one he kicked was 62, and it hit the net on the fly. I mean, that thing was like a moonshot.
Monster. That's a Heinz Field record, by the way, 53 yards. So people don't go from long ball there. Game winner, Heinz record. Good for Boswell. What a guy. What a guy.
I can't believe that's the longest in the history of that stadium. I know it's got that one end that's notoriously tough.
I mean, the gusts are insane because you let's say you think that it's going to go right to left. So you aim right a little bit, and then the wind just stops, and then you're aiming right at that point, and then all of a sudden it will gust the opposite direction, just out of nowhere. And it's like, oh, cool. So I read for a right to left, and it definitely just pushed it left to right, and I'm kind of fucked here. So there's nothing you can do about it. And when punting, there's a moment of free fall from when the ball leaves your hand to your foot. And if the wind fucking gusts there, like you can definitely just get a complete kick in the dick from Mother Nature out of nowhere. Like, because if a ball's on a golf tee and you're in the middle of a drive and you're halfway down in your swing and the ball just starts rolling off the tee and you have to, that's what it's like whenever the ball just fucking gets blown out of nowhere. Boom, bang. Fuck. There's a big scream of fuckery that happens out of my mouth. I wish they would get it on camera so maybe we could make some entertaining product out there for adults.
AJ, that preserves Pittsburgh as the top seed in the AFC. Are they the best team in the AFC, or you like the Patriots?
I mean, I still like the Patriots. You know how I always go with them. They're like the well, I guess they would be like the college Alabama, but Alabama got beat this past week. So,
wild.
Yeah, a lot of craziness happened in college. But no, I still think the Patriots are the best team. It's probably going to come down to Patriots, Steelers to see who comes out of the AFC, which, yeah, isn't it like that every year, it seems like?
Yeah, absolutely. The Patriots, the rest of their games are all against the AFC East, except for one game against Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh just can't handle them. They just never have. They keep throwing the same shit at Brady every time they play each other. They go at him with the same zone, and he just picks that crap apart. Like, I want to respect them and their odds of like winning out, but not the Patriots game. And I don't think I'm being cocky or arrogant.
The Patriots are so good. It's outrageous. I mean, now that I'm getting a chance to really sit back and win money off of them, watching them go to work. A fucking fake punt, first drive. Okay, let's set the tone. Here, first drive, fake punt. That is a mindset of a head coach. Because to get a coach to call a fake is a nightmare to begin with. It's fucking like pulling teeth almost at some points with some coaches. Jeff Fisher used to let that shit fly at any given time. Like, we're going to lose. You'll see that shit. But teams that win don't often do fakes. I mean, it's not something that's normal because it's like it's big, high risk, high reward situations at all times because it's like giving up a gigantic return if you think you're going to play well. First series, cuz fucking fake, fuck you to the Dolphins. I knew it as soon as I'm like, man, like that's an awesome mindset. He's literally going out there emptying all the bullets out of the gun, to be a cliche metaphor, AJ Hawk.
Well, the Patriots know they're so good that they can run a fake. And honestly, though, it's just to break their tendencies. So they're the next teams they play
have to
work
think
on that
about
fake.
that. So now they have
That's
to.
That's the only reason they knew they were going to beat the Dolphins. That's the main reason they did it. Hey, let's get this on film. Let's make every other team worry about it. Spend 30 minutes of their punt return worried about this one fake.
Wow, let's do it on the first drive. It'll just be like they got the ball first. Not a big deal. They got a big return. We'll give it. Wow, they did it like it was a preseason game because that's when you see all the fakes is in preseason. The New England Patriots just treated the Dolphins like a preseason game right here in Week 11. Wow, wow, that's wild.
Yeah, I give no fucks about the MVP race. Carson Wentz can have it. More power to him.
He's so good.
I think he leads the league in touchdowns. Good for him. But I think he's going to get it because he's the new guy. Like, he deserves the MTV breakout star, movie award. But he's going to get it over Brady, even though Brady leads him in every other single category. Interception percentage, yards. He's averaging like 300 yards a game. I give Wentz credit, but Brady is playing out of his mind right now.
Who votes on that? Who votes on the MVP? Do we know?
I think it's Associated Press.
Who's that?
So it's
is
probably
Associated Press a thing anymore?
What the fuck are they? So I was first team All Pro with like Pro Football Focus, scouts and shit. People that watch film. And I don't even think I was like third. Like AP didn't even vote me. Who the fuck is the AP? This is a good question. Yeah. I like this question. Who the fuck are they? We need to have a conversation with why the fuck their opinion matters about anything. Anything.
If it's done like baseball does it. It's 2 writers from every city.
Oh.
So you're talking 60 guys. I don't know if that's how football does it, but I mean,
I respect the fact that writers do their due diligence and have to watch every practice and things like that. And writers and reporters are a gigantic part of the NFL's success. They are a huge, very valuable commodity. But I do not believe they should be the ones that are in control of who makes Hall of Fames, which I think they do in baseball. This MVP shit, all pro shit, legacies, basically. I truly believe that players and coaches should be the ones that really decide that at all times. At all times, I think. If it's not current players, it should be retired players making decisions, ones that have good brains and have done a lot for the game and shit like that, or coaches who have changed the game completely. I think they should be doing it and I think the writers, who are a very vital part, should write about who they pick. That's what I think. I think that they should write about who, even refs, like fucking refs get undercut so much out of their, they should have a Pro Bowl vote. Refs should have a Pro Bowl vote, I think. They're fucking on the field, literally. I think refs vote should matter a lot more in a lot of things than they do. I think refs, coaches, and players should have a much larger voice in all of that bullshit. Because it is all bullshit, but I think it's very important bullshit.
Yeah, we'll run that back real quick, Pat. You said retired players whose brains are good.
Yeah.
How do we judge?
So, well, I mean, aside from the medical ways to figure that out, but like Tony Romo has a good brain right now, right? He's a member of the media too, so it's a win-win there. But Tony Romo has like a great brain. I feel like people are enjoying what he's bringing to football right now. You, AJ, I think you're a good brain for football. I think that should be voted on by who's a good brain for football. Like, who cares about the game, who knows the fucking game, who cares, who watches the game, who has been inside the locker room, who understands bad situations versus good situations. Like, I think those things are a vital necessity whenever it comes to ranking people. That, because I think outside the doors and outside you there's not very it's not a fair perspective almost.
How's this for an idea?
People get swayed by people like Jerry. Sorry, Jerry, I'll let you get to it. But people can be swayed by who they see the most, I guess. So if someone jumps on the hype train of somebody, then people are like, oh, who's good here? Well, I see this guy on TV a lot. He must be great.
And media has no clue, like especially about punters, right? So the media have no clue about punters. I mean, this year there seems to be
nobody knows anything about punters, Pat.
Exactly, except for other punters. Like I feel like guys like Shane Leckler, who went to a Pro Bowl like 5 years in a row, like, and he's at the end of that guy should be one of the guys that's in like a meeting of the minds with people like him and Vinatieri, and should be like, hey, these motherfuckers are really good. Like people who matter. I think those people, because people who know absolutely nothing, just run with shit that they know nothing about. And it's like, oh, okay, now this motherfucker who knows nothing is all of a sudden deciding whether or not I get a fucking Pro Bowl bonus when I just put up fucking 3 months of 0 yards returned, in kickoffs and punts. Are you kidding me? Which is a gigantic 3 months straight, bro. Like, I don't think it was that long, but it was a long time. It was like 2 months. And I was like, this guy's going to I'm fucking balling my dick off with and this fucking media guy is trying to fuck me over right now. This fucking guy. That's how I felt. So that's why I have such a strong stance about this.
And there's a long history of guys getting hosed in these votes because the writer had like a grudge against them or he's not real friendly to the press or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, Ted Williams once won the Triple Crown and didn't get the MVP. Like, because there were guys who just left them off their list because they hated him, and made it clear, I'm gonna screw this guy someday, and I'm gonna get my chance, and that was their chance, and they did. How's this for an idea?
But that's why you shouldn't be in the
Hall of Fame.
You shouldn't be assholes to people ever.
Sure. Yeah. How about this? You get in the Hall of Fame, that entitles you to vote for this stuff, like a perk.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but what if there's definitely some Hall of Famers that don't pay attention to the sport they play, so they don't know, they're not up to date.
It has to be somebody. It has to be somebody relevant. It has to be somebody in the time, because I think it's a very different game than it used to be. I think it's a very different game than it used to be, and you can't compare like the game then to the game now because it's fucking so different. Like everything, they showed a Dion highlight on the Facebook like a couple days ago, and he was high stepping for 20 yards, and then he pointed at somebody, and then he threw a ball, and I was like, that's a 45-yard penalty. Like that's 3 personal fouls right there. Like no, that guy would not have flown in the modern day football. So I respect his opinion on a lot, but goddamn, it's a whole different world now. It ain't the same world where you used to be able to just party and go out and do whatever the fuck you want and have a great time, because now there's social media everywhere. Like so the guys from the old era, it's a very different ball game now. It's a very, very different ball game now, and I think you have to be kind of topical to have that. I love their opinions on TV. But I'm just talking like strictly voting purposes, and even the older guys, though maybe they're a relevant person who's around the game a lot. But I'm just talking about all the Hall of Famers, not all of them power football back in the day. There's a lot of guys that are like football, like super football hardos almost from back in the day. I think. Don't you think, AJ? Like old school football guys, they always talk about like we did 3-a-days. We used to do 3-a-days. Blah blah blah. Like they like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Of course, that's the classic. It's anybody, no matter what generation you played in, you're going to talk guys that want to, back in my day, we used to hit ourselves in the head with a hammer for 3 hours before we go out and practice for 4 hours.
That's a bad decision. We think you were making bad decisions. That's what we think. So don't hold that against us. That's like my generation of high school rap music was better than everybody else's. So I feel good about that.
Yeah. I want to celebrate a great moment of old school football this weekend. Michael Crabtree and Aqib Talib. That was friggin' phenomenal.
Dispenser. The fucking cheap shot with the helmet on behind the play was so fucking just WWE-like. Like that was so obvious heel, obvious face, obvious bad guy wearing helmet, taking cheap shot to face of man not wearing helmet. It was like perfect for WWE. It was a perfect storyline. Those two hate each other, huh? Like those two do not like each other. Yeah, those are good football players too, I feel like, right? I don't know. They're really good football players though.
Talib is easily a top 5 or 6 corner in the league. And I didn't think Crabtree had that much fight in him.
He dominated. He dominated him, and then that block is. By the way, if I was to engage in blocking with somebody, I would get run over every time. Is it just a war of attrition? Like who's going to do it longer? Is there a moment of quit whenever you realize you're blocked by a guy, AJ? Like if an offensive lineman comes and gets you and you know you're locked up, right? Is there a moment where you two look each other in the eyes and you're like, yeah, you did it. Good job. You blocked me. Does that happen? Or do you guys try to go the whole time?
Well, it depends I guess it depends how long you've played in the league. That's one thing that I got smart about as I got older, and you play guys a lot over and over again. There's times, when he's got you locked up, there's nothing you can do. His arms are 30 feet long. You can't get off. He's driving you into the pile, and he'll even like hold you up like, oh, here we go. And I'm like, oh, and I'll thank him at the very end of that play. And then I won't take a cheap shot on him if he's in a bad position. So sometimes that definitely happens. But that Crabtree,
by the way, good idea. That's a good idea. Making friends out there.
Always try to be friends with the O lineman as you hit him in the side of the head so he doesn't come get you. But with Crabtree and Talib, if you watched it, Crabtree was blocking him, and it was like didn't you see the play was almost over, and Crabtree still's driving his legs. Talib for a second kind of let up. He's like, all right, the play's over. We're not going to block anymore. And Crabtree's like, nah, we're still going. I'm going to drive you for another 18 yards on the sideline.
So many Caucasian photogs just scattering on the sideline. Dude, just it looked like a fucking bomb. Like they were just gone with their damn cameras everywhere. Like, what's going on? What's going on over here? These guys are fighting. But that shot from Aqib Talib to Crabtree without the helmet was wild. That was a wild shot. What happened with Marshawn Lynch? What happened with
He was the peacemaker. And we left out the detail that Talib grabbed the necklace off a Crabtree and like yanked it off in mid-push.
Yeah, again, you got another chain.
That's
at some point,
chains.
maybe you
two
just
chains.
I just tuck mine in.
2 chains, but I got me a few on. That's hilarious. I'm not the first person.
So Marshawn was what Marshawn is to the world, a peacemaker, right? I think if you think of one word that describes him,
he did break up the Marcus Peters Raiders fight. He's out there trying to resolve issues on the football field, and boy, you got to respect it. Some people tweeted that it appears as if he was sticking up for the other team there. So how did the refs let him just because I know that there's only one way into the locker room, which is through their bench, which is very awkward, by the way. It's very awkward walking off the field right next to it. I had a conversation with Donald Penn last time we played out there, by the way. It was after the game. We were walking off the field, and I just said to him, hey, man, you see, I'm going to score a touchdown tonight. I want to let you know that. It was on the He said, I saw you get tackled, dog, and then just kept walking. I'd met him one other time before, so I thought it was pretty hilarious. I think he was like genuinely mocking me.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Donald Penn was one of those guys that I would try to make friends with.
Yes, good idea, by the way.
Right.
Me too, by the way. Me too.
Yeah. He's usually I don't think he was really open to it. So I would know early on, like, okay, I guess we're gonna play through the whistle on this one with this guy.
Oh, all fucking 4 quarters, buddy. You got a high motor, high football IQ, lunch pail guy, fucking coach's son here playing outside linebacker, and I'm coming at you. We're doing this all day.
Yeah, it's early on, like, okay, and then after the game, you can have a healthy respect for each other.
Oh, is there any guy that you felt like had a lot of quit in him? You don't have to say his name. But did you ever get a guy you're like, oh, this guy's got a lot of quit in him. This guy doesn't got it for 4 quarters. Have you ever like prepared a guy for the 4th quarter of just misery?
Yeah, afterward, every once in a while there'd be a fullback maybe, but most of the fullbacks would be bringing it all day. But I forget what team we were playing. They ran like an outside zone scheme where they were actually pulling a guard, and it was like one of my greatest collisions with a guy. He had his shoulders turned, so Pat is a football guy. If he has his shoulders turned, if you can get to him before he squares up,
you got
that's the only time you have a chance. So I went down and ear hold him right in the side of the head.
Oh, nice cheap shot. Good.
Yeah, no, not at all. I was just picking off the puller.
Of course.
He didn't. I didn't make the tackle. Someone else did, and they got a TFL. I think.
Oh,
this
selfless.
Dude goes down. Goes down. This was on like close to their sideline as well. Went down. Tried to stand up, stumbling super wobbly like a boxer, and he starts to stumble off to the sideline like, can't really. He's a full zombie. I was like, oh, this dude's got to get out of here. And he tries to go to the sideline, and his whole coaching staff in the bench waves him back onto the field like, no. They must have not had a backup, and this wasn't like 2007. This was probably 2013, maybe.
This is why Will Smith was a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. They did not tell this guy the truth because he was not ready for it. And
Tell the truth.
He shuffled back in. I don't know what happened the next play exactly with him, but that was where the concussion protocol failed. That guy, for sure.
Did they have the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant at that time, like the UNC The uncle's only job is to look for that.
They might. I don't know if they had that independent. Yeah, I think they might have even had the independent person at that time. But those people, if you're a science guy or a doctor,
you have no idea.
What really gets a guy dinged, like you have no idea if you've never taken those shots. So how is that person, he or she, going to be able to judge when the guy's wobbly like he drank 40 beers? It's a pretty telling sign that he might want to take a play off.
By the way, respect to a guy that can drink 40 beers, but like a lot of guys say they get stingers. So you'll see guys like with stingers, and then you'll see them on the ground. I'm like, man, your whole body isn't moving. Then they get up and they're like, oh, stinger, yeah, stinger. I'm like, pfft. You see that on TV. Like, I'm watching that happen on TV. Like, some of the primetime games it's happening. I'm like, man, this is wild. And that's why I think the concussion thing is so difficult to solve and to cure. I don't think there's any logical answer because these doctors and trainers, like whenever you go to your local doctor, you are going with a problem to tell them. You are telling them the symptoms, right? So you're opening up about the symptoms. You're not lying to the doctor. You're going to the doctor for a reason. These doctors and trainers in the NFL are being lied to at all times. At all times, they're being lied to by a lot of people. Not everybody. Not everybody lies, but a lot of the people in NFL rosters are not going to say anything that could potentially get them cut from an NFL roster, which makes them lose their six-figure paycheck that they're about to get that takes care of the entire family. So that's why I don't believe there's any real answer to the concussion thing, because unless guys are really fucking out of it. But from watching that Will Smith doctor movie, it's all the little dings are doing a lot of shit too. Those things happen so much, and there's no way they just can't do it unless you take the helmet off, I guess. I mean, that's what people talk about.
Oh yeah, there's doctors that'll tell you if these guys were really unaffiliated, that they would just take all 22 guys off the field. Like you all have concussions. You just all ran into one another.
Such
with
a good
flimsy
game.
helmets on.
It's such a good game, though.
They'd be taking them all out of training camp and their Wednesday or Thursday padded practice as well. It happens there too. So it's not just game day.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the practice shit that would pop off by younger guys who don't know how to practice or guys that are trying to make. There's some shit where you're like, fuck me. That's a Wednesday, bro? I'm not doing that ever in my life. You guys are hitting like that on a Wednesday. Like, we're not even really getting paid for this. Like, this is not even yes, we should get good, but boy, we should not be attempting to kill ourselves at this exact moment. It's interesting.
So remember a couple of years ago with Cam Newton got lit up. And I mean, to the point where he was walking sideways and had like cartoon birds flying around his head like Roger Rabbit. And the unk looked right at him and just said, "You're good."
LaRon
because
Landry.
No one wants to take Cam Newton out of a game. There's too much riding on it.
LaRon Landry hit people in practice in a hilarious fashion. That guy had one speed and one speed only, and it was full go. He carried around pre-workout. Like, you know how you get a water at practice? He drank pre-workout. He was just going, that guy. He hit Reggie Wayne, I think. Like, first practice he was there, Reggie ran like an out, and then he jumped up to catch it, and LaRon like ran him out and like bodied him almost. And everybody on the field stopped and was like, that's Reggie Wayne. You just did that too. That's probably not a great idea. And like the entire practice stopped, and then there was like a full conversation that happened. Those practice hits, I think, catch up with people too, AJ. That's not talked about enough. They always talk about like kickoffs on Sundays, or it happens in this situation or this situation. They don't talk about Wednesday and Thursday and some Fridays early in the year. They don't talk about
those padded training camp practices sometimes are the most brutal because you always have, Pat, you know, from watching when we're doing goal line today, and it's like the most violent collisions ever because you know they are running the ball. The defense knows we can't let them score. They're on the 1 yard line. They're going to run 7 straight plays, and everybody is getting knocked out.
Real life gladiator shit, by the way. Real life U6 versus U6 over here, and you're stopping these two guys back here, and they have to get a yard. So good luck out there. And we're going to watch this film tonight, by the way. Everybody's going to watch all of this film tonight. And every step every person takes, if it's not 100%, you're going to get judged for that and possibly not make the team. So go as hard as you can, do perfect everything. And basically, this is 100% gladiator shit. And boy, from a punter's perspective, fucking awesome day of practice to watch. Fucking one-on-ones, awesome day. One-on-one day is awesome. Goal line day is awesome. There's a lot of fucking great shows that get put on. When T.Y. Hilton showed up, he was a third rounder for us out of nowhere. He was doing one-on-ones in training camp against like other rookies the first couple of times. And it was just like running laps around, almost running a full circle around kids. And it was just like this shit. That's where all the magic, like that. I couldn't even fathom what Odell Beckham Jr. does in one-on-ones in practice. Couldn't even fathom it because every one of those catches is just like stupid. Randy Moss and Chris Carter back in the day, I guess they would go through an entire Thursday and only catch a ball with their right hand. Like that was a practice. Like we're only going to do our right hand today. And it's like that type of shit. The most freak athletes of all time just doing awesome shit right in front of you. But I'd never really thought about it from the perspective of the guy that has to be in it, that has to suck major penis for a middle linebacker on goal line drill day at training camp. Fucking 105 degrees. Oh, just sweating. No money. You're making $400 or something at that point for that practice. You're staying in some shitty ass fucking dorm. Oh, and you're fucking right in the afternoon goal line drill. Let's go. Football. Are you like football or not? Do you like football or not, AJ? Do you want to be here? Do you want the Packers to win?
Pat, I got to tell you something, Jerry. So we were talking about Ndamukong Suh, right? And what you should say to the media. So I just reading a quote from running back Todd Gurley. It says, Rams running back Todd Gurley on not getting many carries. Quote, "It is what it is. We was winning. It's all good."
Great quote.
So that's what you want, right, Jerry? That's a team guy.
Yeah. I don't need to be entertained by them. If I have a rooting interest in a team, I just want them to say things.
Whoa. What do you? Whoa.
Yikes.
What
Jerry,
they're gonna
have to cut that, Jerry.
Jerry.
What just happened?
Look at it. Pat, look at it. It's like the old World War II grizzled vets that don't even know.
Just paint a broad brush over all the football players. I don't need to be entertained by them. Hey, you football players, stick to football. I don't need to be entertained by your stupid answers. Why are we even doing this interview anyways? What are we even doing? Why are we even doing this?
I'm not doing a you people.
Oh, that's what you did.
I'm not doing that. No.
Yes, you did. Them as a you people.
Football players. I don't need you to say.
You did.
Look, if you're going to say something entertaining, great. Like, I love Martellus Bennett is one of the most unpopular people in the world right now. But to me, he's goofy and hilarious.
What if you are forced to talk? What if you are forced to talk and you are so sick of it? What if you are literally forced to? You have $100 million in your bank account and you're being forced to talk to these humans, ask you about business that you think you know more than them about, and you are sick of it. Like some guys get like that. That happens.
So you give a Todd Gurley. You give a Todd Gurley answer to a question,
but those are all characters in the game, though. Like Todd Gurley's answer is incredible, and he's also having a great. I think every once in a while he has highlights though, so it's good for him. He's still relevant, and the team's winning, so that's a good thing. And Ndamukong Suh is 1,000% a business. He gives no fucks about any of that fucking interview, man. He wants to be a good football player. He wants to be the best football player he can be so he can make as much money as possible. But he don't give a single fuck what that reporter had to ask. He did not care about how this would be received. He does not give a fuck. And that's not saying I know him personally. I'm just assuming if you judge, Ndamukong Suh plays really good football and he just gives no fucks. That's what Ndamukong Suh does. He gives no fucks. But he's a businessman who's friends with Warren Buffett and played soccer growing up. It's just he's such an interesting character, but you have to respect it. He's got so much money and so many titles, and he's good. He's a good football. He's not liked by a lot of people.
Yeah, he's overpaid. I don't think he's as good as the contracts that he's gotten.
You are worth every dollar somebody will pay you. You are worth it.
Comes and goes. Oh yeah, no, I don't want him on my team if his attitude is, well, we just got our dicks kicked in the dirt, but hey, you know what? They ran away from me. You know what? I don't want that.
But we don't know how. What if he had an unbelievable game, though, Jerry? He can say what he wants as long as he's playing well and playing hard.
Because you know what's most important to the people in that locker room? Hey, when you do your fucking job. Now, granted, you shouldn't be public about it and publicly shame people. I don't think that's a good teammate. That's not how I was a teammate. But there's some people who are like that. And it's just like, yeah, you're okay. That guy is doing his job, though. So what the fuck can we say? You can't say shit about it.
Right. And there's some guys who are better at saying nothing than others.
Great. Those are the quarterbacks of the team.
Quarterbacks. Brady is brilliant at it. He'll give you these long answers without really saying anything. Matthew Slater, special teams captain of the Patriots, used to have him on the radio show all the time. he was a genius at it. He gave you it was interesting, but he didn't say anything. If you know what I'm saying, and would never like lose a game by 18 points and say, hey, you know what, I did my job.
Oh yeah, not everybody's like that, I don't think, and I don't think but I think it's interesting he does that. But Roger Goodell is the best in the world at it, and I honestly believe that. I watched him work one time in a team meeting before the lockout. He came and visited every training camp. AJ, did he? I assume he visited you guys.
Yep.
And we were told the night before to this is before the lockout, before the owners were going to lock us out of the fucking buildings, not have us job anymore, which was the best thing ever, by the way. If I was still in the NFL, I'd be a very large advocate of the lockout every single year. Cool. Leave me the fuck alone until 2 weeks before training camp. That's awesome. I appreciate it. But fuck, where was I headed right there? I was headed somewhere.
You were supposed to prepare questions for Goodell or what?
Roger Goodell.
Oh, yes. Fuck. So Roger Goodell, we were told to prepare questions for Roger Goodell the next day, right? He's coming to speak to us, prepare questions, get ready for this. The lockout's about to happen. Ask him any question you want. And people were asking questions like, hey, like, why the fuck is this like, how can we not figure this out? Is there not a way to figure this out? And Roger Goodell was giving these answers to players who were about to lose their health insurance. Some people had like pregnant wives and shit. It was very, very interesting to listen to him fucking illustrate an entire press conference basically with us and not give a single answer to anything and then walk out. And I'm like, oh, I thought he handled that well. Yeah. And like, but he answered zero questions. I was like, this motherfucker. That's why he makes so much money, because he does that all the time. Quarterbacks are really good at it. The ones who are very popular and famous are the best at it, obviously. Those are obviously the guys that are best at it. And the guys that aren't great at it aren't well liked by people. I mean, that's just how it goes. That's the way the relationship goes with the media. Jay Cutler, great for instance right there. Not very much well liked by the media, so he's portrayed in a poor light. But boy, those answers that make you seem selfish, I think there's a lot of selfish guys in the NFL. I don't think people understand that, but that doesn't make them a bad person. That just makes them want to be rich. I just think they have a different mindset when it's not a game anymore and it's a business. When you work and it's different than a game. I think there's a difference between a fan and a player. And I think that's a very large thing that is kind of thrown to the wayside whenever people look at those types of statements after games. Because for the teammates, it's like, I don't want to get fired. That's what I don't want to get. I want to get rich.
Yeah. AJ, what would you think if someone on your defense said that? Isn't he sort of saying it's the other 10 guys' fault? It's not mine.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really have a whole lot of teammates that said stuff like that, I think. And if they did, I never paid attention to what they were saying to the media anyway. You know who the guy really is. And Ndamukong Suh's teammates know who he really is. They know if he's working hard at practice, if he's playing hard in the game. So what he says doesn't really matter. Everyone has a different motivation, or they're motivated by different factors. The majority of NFL players are motivated by money, of course. That's not a bad thing, but as long as you're playing hard and you're doing your job. So I don't know. I haven't had a whole lot of guys make statements like that, and you don't see it coming out of the Patriots, really. The teams that have been dominating for so long, it doesn't happen. Because you'll get killed and you'll get cut the next day. So
yeah, it's only in bad situations that these types of things happen, and everybody's worried about their jobs at that point, coaches included. So it's like really not that in the house. It's not that gigantic of an issue, because the biggest issue is losing all the fucking time.
Yeah, they can go to Suh, or they can go to a player and say, "Hey, man, you can't be saying that to the media." And Suh could easily say, "Hey, coach, how about you try to find a way to put a game plan so we can win a game?"
Hey, hey, why don't you figure it the fuck out before you worry about what I'm saying after the game?
Yeah. Why are you reading my clips so you watch some film of our next opponent?
And don't forget to vote for me for the Pro Bowl.
That fucking guy, dude. What a fucking move.
Robbie Anderson, man. Power move. And by the way, let me say something good about Suh. You know what his first name translates as? The Ndamukong is, I want to say it's Swahili, but the word literally translates to House of Spears.
Great name. By the way.
Oh, that's Pissa.
Great name.
And by the way, they have a word for a House of Spears. Like, I have like a tool shed where I keep like rakes and a lawnmower. They've got houses of spears in their culture. I need that in my life.
Listen, I think you could very much move into one of them tribes if you wanted to at any given time. I saw Tim Allen do it. He went and got his kid. His kid was on an island. I don't remember which one. You just got to get there, and then you're kind of in. They teach you a blow dart and then you just kind of you're in. I think we can make this happen for you in no time at all.
I think
if they got Wi-Fi, if they've got
no Wi-Fi.
beer.
They got House of Spears because they don't have House of
Hey, I
Wi-Fi.
think that's where that may be where Sean's dad is.
That's where he is. But what you're gonna need, you're gonna need
so many
at
brothers
least one ninja star on that on the wall.
Yeah,
that's your kickoff.
Why are they so good? They have to be. I guess it's a necessity. But like that Tim Allen tribe, his kid could hit a blow dart from like 30 yards away. I'm like, bro, people can't even do that with a bow and arrow right now, and you're a blow and arrow. It's incredible. I very much want to go live with a tribe for about a week.
I say you last 2 days max.
That Survivor man, he was basically living like that.
That guy.
I don't know how he did it. Filmed himself, walked back.
The original caveman. He does all the production, all front of house, all back of house.
Dude, he's the one-man band, man. It's incredible.
One of the great disappointments in my life when I lost all faith in humanity was when I found out that Bear Grylls is a fraud.
He's not.
Don't you?
You need to stop.
I just figured out fucking wrestling is fake right now.
Excuse me, it's not. But
you know what I mean as a kid, though.
Yeah. What are you even talking about?
It's been proven. It's been proven repeatedly
that he didn't drink his own piss. I watched him.
He drinks piss.
Okay.
He wears life jackets when he's floating down rivers. People have gone to the places that he claims are like way out in this dangerous area out in the middle of nowhere, and there's like parking lots right next to it. Not
a bad move. That's smart. That's a good hustle.
I'm gonna walk across this dangerous lava. I have to go carefully because my foot might go through. There's a YouTube video where a guy just walks right in his own footsteps where Bear Grylls was.
No.
And shrugs because there's like cars parked.
Are you being serious? I don't know if you're being serious or not.
No, 100%. I loved Bear Grylls for like 2 or 3 seasons.
I'm having a rough time right now.
It's all just done with smoke and mirrors. It's all just camera tricks and shit. And he stays in a hotel.
Oh, not even in a bus? In a hotel?
No tents?
You have to hear from me. I'm sorry. I'm coming to you as a friend. You've been lied to by Bear Grylls.
Hey,
Survivor
joke's
Man,
on you.
totally legit.
Joke's on you, Jerry, because all of those people that waited in line on Black Friday, they sprinted into Walmart and bought up all of Bear Grylls' knives, screwdrivers. He has a whole system.
He has a straw that filters through any liquid surface, and you can drink it.
I just got that, actually.
Of course you did. Are you and Bear Grylls friends?
No, it's called the Life Straw. It's not Bear Grylls, I don't think. You can, I'm going to try to drink my own urine. It says you can.
Oh, okay.
Well, does Bear Grylls have does he make grills at least?
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing you don't fucking make, you should.
It's good branding.
Bear
Grylls Grills.
Bear Grylls Grills.
BGG. Bear Grylls Grills. By the way, Running Wild with Bear Grylls and Marshawn Lynch, one of the greatest pieces of content in history. Whitest guy ever with Marshawn Lynch in the woods. It's incredible.
Look, I need Lynch to retire only because I want him on reality TV. I love watching him play. He clearly's not getting the touches. He's not as good as we thought he would be. Everyone drafted him in their fantasy pools, and he's not produced. It's time to just go live a life of an Ozzy Osbourne life. Just have
He has a Facebook show right now, Jerry. He has a show running on Facebook.
This unscripted show on Bleacher Report or whatever it is, I know I'm not probably supposed to even mention it because it's another blog. But this unscripted thing that he's doing, where he just watches incredible things happen and then just reacts to it, is so fucking amazing. It's fucking. This one guy came in and did this incredible talent where he was flipping, and Marshawn said, I see a crack fiend do that down the street 2 days ago or something like that.
Oakland's wild, man.
It was just like, it's hilarious. He was in there with Red Panda. He was like, she's going to flip these onto her head. And like a full moment where he's watching this happen for the first time. And it's fucking awesome, man. It's a great gig for him too. I would very much enjoy those things just showing up in my life on a regular. He is hilarious though. What a human. What a fucking human.
Mans don't take selfies with mans. One of the great quotes of our times.
Hindsight's 50-50. Cam Newton. That's a great quote too.
Couple things in the time we have left here, fellas.
2020.
The Cowboys are imploding because they don't have Ezekiel Elliott. Like, I don't care if you're the best running back in the league, which he is. If he's, say, a 4.7 yards a carry guy, you can't replace him with a 4 yards a carry guy and still stay afloat. Like they got their asses handed to them on Thanksgiving, and I think they were 5-point favorites, and they lose by like 22. I think that they've just used that as an excuse to fall apart, and I don't know if Garrett survives the offseason.
You know what? He is a genuinely happy-looking guy, isn't he? Like, all hell can be breaking loose on the field, and they zoom over to him, and he's clapping, chewing his gum, and smiling. He just seems like such an upbeat guy. He does. He just seems so happy. I don't know if you can fire him. He's one of those guys who walks into an interview, you go to fire him, you give him a raise, I think. I think he is a talker. And he can sling the ball still, too. He makes sure he does that every single game in warm-ups. He's slinging the rock. I think I don't know what's going on. Sean Lee being hurt's a big deal. He's so good at football. And then whenever he's gone, it's a big deal. So now you got your two most explosive players on both sides of the ball basically gone. I mean, those explosive players are weapons. And you don't realize how big of a weapon they are until you're without them. And that's what they got going on right now on both sides of the ball. And their kicker. And their fucking kicker is out. Nuge is a great kicker, but Dan Bailey's arguably one of the greatest kickers. Him, Tucker, Vinatieri. There's only a few people in conversation. Dan Bailey's one of them. Nuge is doing a great job. I fucking love the Nuge. I want you to tell Nuge that I love Nuge. But Dan Bailey's a fucking animal. It's just...
Well, they cut him. I think Bailey's back. Nuge got cut.
Okay, way to go. On top of it. When did that happen? Today?
And you know what? We were talking about a couple of days back, I guess, but Philly's guy came back too, so Nuge didn't get to ride home on the plane.
Yikes.
Yeah, catch a commercial flight home, cuz.
Yeah.
Man.
Could you imagine
First
that?
Bear Grylls and now the Nuge. It's a tough weekend for the McAfee.
He had to check his bag. He has bags. He has all his gear. He had to check his shoulder pads.
Yeah, right there at the fucking front office. Had to go through TSA or whatever.
They lost his bags.
For
He
sure.
got back. No fucking shoulder pads. Not that they needed them, but still.
Yeah. I mean, what is Nuge doing right now?
I think he's in Arizona. He's got a place out there.
What a life Nuge lives. Just multi-states. He's bi-coastal. He's all over the place. You need him here, he's here. You need him in Dallas, he's there in New York, L.A., Arizona. He bounces around. The Nuge lives a life.
He kicked well in Dallas, so the good thing for him is there's plenty of teams that need a kicker, so I think he's going to get another call.
I think so, too. He's getting in that kicker carousel right now. So it happens. It just becomes this group of kickers that kind of just wander and kind of pilgrimage around team to team whenever they're looking for a kicker to replace a hurt one or another one. Always do well, reliable, old steady. They're going to miss some. You're like, wow, what happened? But they're going to make a lot, and they're going to get a job somewhere else here in a few weeks or maybe next year even. I mean, it's just the way
Buffalo's
it goes.
bringing him in for third, maybe a possible backup to Peterman.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Nuge playing quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
He's got a cannon.
What happened?
I'll tell you who's got to get signed as a quarterback is Mohamed Sanu.
Dude.
Touchdown today. Friggin', he's 6 for 6 in his career with 3 touchdowns. A perfect passer rating.
What a bomb today, too. I mean, he bobbled it and then fucking dropped it in the goddamn basket. I mean, that was a ball from him. He's an athlete. He's just a freak athlete. And then he ran a dude over like 2-3 plays later. He just ran a guy over. I'm like, what a human, man. Just throwing a ball 55 yards and running a human over the next day or next play. Good for him. That's good. As a guy who has a perfect passer rating on Thanksgiving, I can respect other good quarterbacks.
And Julio Jones broke football today.
Oh, I have him on my fantasy team. Thank God.
Oh, no kidding. 253, 258.
The dive. Did you see the dive picture that they got where he's sugar gliding above the field and scoring a touchdown? He's literally just completely spread out, perfectly flat, hovering over the earth in just this still frame of consciousness where he's about to score a tutty. It's fucking awesome. It's a great photo. Maybe photo of the year. If I had that photo of me, never would be able to get into that position unless I'm being held there. I would definitely want it visible in my day-to-day experience, whether it's in my office somewhere or maybe it's somewhere. I want to see that on a regular basis. And for him, that's probably just another day at the office. Fucking wild.
Yep. You talk about those athletes we mentioned earlier, and he's just one of them. But that combination, because there are those guys we've seen them who just were touched by the gods, but just don't put it together.
That's my problem.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you, Julio Jones, like physically, you guys are almost identical.
I watch Julio. I watch Julio Jones.
A top knot on him, and you're the same person.
I watched Julio Jones play blackjack in the Bahamas one time. Boy, he was playing large, and he was wearing a white tank top that is described as a wife beater sometimes, and he had white pants on, and he was just this monster of a human at this blackjack table. I'm like, holy! Not all men were created equal. Not all men were created equal. That guy is a monster.
In the off season, he was water skiing with he dropped a earring that I think it was like $10,000 or something.
That's awesome.
And paid divers to go look for it.
Did they find it?
No. I mean, it's like a lake. It was all like rocks on the bottom and crap. But when you've got the kind of money to pay people to look for a piece of jewelry that you probably might want to take out before you get on the skis, then that's just living a life. No, it's just living a life the rest of us will never be able to experience.
Jerry, I think it was like an $80,000 or $100,000 ring. I don't think he would have hired the dive team for 10.
Thank you for that. I think he it cost him like $10,000 to try to recover.
Imagine that moment where you're about to start doing it with that $80,000 to $100,000 earring or ring on, and somebody going, "You want to take your ring off or earring?" And you go, No, not that big of a deal. And then losing it.
Well, I think the blame now shifts to the person who asked.
Yeah, should
they
never
fucking jinxed the trip.
Yeah, they should have never brought it up. Mm-hmm. You're 100% right. That has to happen. I mean, that's a wild. I had my ears pierced, got my earrings at Claire's, and then I kept them there.
Was this during the blonde hair, bleach blonde hair days?
Yeah, I was pretty. I mean, I would have hated me. For sure. There's a large. I would have very understandable if you did not like me in those years. I was pretty cool.
Did anybody ever just smack you in the face?
No. Listen, I was too quick. I was like a ninja in situations. You couldn't touch my face. This nose, though, pretty large target. I knew that. I had to duck and dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Did it dangle? Did you have a hoop or just a stud?
Stud, please. I'm a gentleman.
He had a little cross there dangling down.
Yeah, for sure. My dad didn't talk to me for like a week. Small house. Didn't talk to me after I got my ears pierced. In the mall. Right in the middle. Yeah.
In college, me and a bunch of buddies had it done by our friend's little sister.
No,
and
that's aggressive.
My brother's exact quote was, "By the way, that fucking thing in your ear looks fucking ridiculous."
Oh, nice. Just with a straight face.
Shout out to Julio Jones' mom, by the way, for coming out and just dropping a Mexican name on this kid, just like hitting him with Julio. That's groundbreaking. It's perfect. It's made for the NFL. Julio Jones.
Yeah. We need to find a Jesus that's a good kicker, you know?
Yeah.
Like a Jesus.
Yeah, we need a good Jesus.
We need or a wide receiver, Jesus.
Hey, not that it matters, but Julio was jet skiing. He wasn't water skiing. I doubt Julio was doing a whole lot of two-ski water skiing.
Hey, I just want to let you know, I was so confused whenever he said that. I was like, man, Julio Jones is water skiing? I guess that's like a freak athlete thing.
He was doing the 2 feet on one ski there.
I love a jet ski.
I apologize. That was a lot of blogs ago.
I love a jet ski, though.
Art or something.
Is that not just such a good time?
Oh, that's my best
I always feel like I'm going to another country. Like I feel like I'm going to go show up at another country. Like when I hop on that, I just start heading due whichever direction is another piece of land, and I just start going, man. I've ran out of gas out there. I've had to get like they say, don't run out of gas, don't go. I go. Like, I'm like, they're going to have to come chase me then. And I'm wide the fuck open. I am trying to find new land. I got beer from a fucking boat out at sea one time. Way out at sea. Got beer, 2 Milwaukees. Yeah, it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. It was really cool. I enjoy jet skis a lot. That's the only thing about water that I like, I think, jet skis. I hate water, everything. Drinking, I like drinking it, but I don't fucks with water.
He's got an eardrum problem, guys.
I got a hole in my eardrum.
What do you do when you're in a dead water, a dead jet ski? Excuse me.
Well, you always got to have.
But I mean, you're out of cell phone range.
No,
right?
you always got to have a friend. You always get you are banking very heavy that this shady place you just rented your jet ski from isn't going to have two run out of gas. So whenever one runs out of gas, you just kind of, or whenever one starts getting low, you turn around, right? So you're like, I got to head back. You always have enough to get back. But every time I'm on it, I think I'm going to reach the other place. And then you kind of get like, it starts like you feel it. It misses one. You're like, all right, time to go back. But boy, I ran out one time. I misjudged it. It wasn't a good jet ski. It just dead right there, right in the middle of the fucking ocean. And boy, my friend had to go back, and then the guy had to come back, and then I had to sit in between the guy and the thing. You know what I mean? He rode me back, basically. I'm just sitting in front of this, just all the way. Boom, boom.
Save that tape.
Yeah, just sit right in front of this guy, just riding it. He's like, "You went too far. You're not supposed to leave the rocks." I'm like, "Man, I'm trying to find new land, bro." Christopher Columbus, I think. It's a wild situation. I like jet ski, though. I respect Julio Jones on a goddamn jet ski. But he's probably in jet ski the same place I was. Now that I think about it, I think he owns property where I traveled to.
I think he only goes there because that's where you were, too.
Yeah, I think he knew that I was there.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so small. I was just off in a little side area, just drinking my strawberry margaritas, trying to catch a glow, and then get the fuck home.
Well, when you get back, there's $100,000 piece of jewelry at the bottom of that thing. So
I'm digging
keep
it.
your eyes peeled.
How about those divers?
How about those divers? Like going in? Like who do you hire? Like SEAL Team retired? Like who do you hire?
SEAL Team 16.
Guys from back in the day. Excuse me, boys. I know you guys hung it up a little bit, but I got a little sea operation here. Yeah. Lost $100,000 Titanic Rose jewel out here on a jet ski. If you could find it, that'd be great.
There's 3 foot of soot down there.
I watched Titanic almost. The beginning of Titanic. Not a lot of people remember the beginning of Titanic, I don't think. It's like an actual tour. Like they actually have like the beginning of it to set the movie up. They had to like showcase it and dive down there, I guess. And the video of it is so there's so much money in the bottom of the sea, guys. We must go find a submarine that can handle a lot of pressure and get down in there. We get one picture of a mermaid. We're bazillionaires. We find any shipwreck that has jewels or booty in it, we are rich. There's so much money down there, and there's only a few hustlers really digging deep to get it, and I want to be the next group. I think we should be the next group that does it.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Ships have been sinking since we had ships, but we've only had the means to get down there for, what, a couple of decades?
Yeah.
So there's goddamn treasure.
So much
you
booty.
Can't even imagine.
Booty. Everywhere down there.
Yep.
I wish
it's pretty small, so there's not a huge area to search. Ocean's tiny.
No.
You think this is bad? You think this is a bad idea? That's what I heard.
Well, James Cameron sent himself down in a tiny little torpedo type deal to the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the ocean, and saw nothing.
Yeah, but dude, he also went to Pandora. Maybe he did see something, and to him it was nothing because he created Avatar. You ever think of that? Like, you think Avatar just popped up out of nowhere for him? No. That guy's seen some things, and now he's acting like he doesn't. I think this is all a scheme.
It's like Area 51 down there.
Very much.
That'd be nice if there was just like a light switch that we just randomly found one day. We're just like, holy fuck!
Down here.
Look at this shit.
That'd be a good day. I think that's good.
Yeah, he's got to quit worrying about treasure and find Atlantis for real. I think that happened. I think there was a city. I think it sank. There's
really?
Shit.
Where's that
there.
at, AJ? Do you know where Atlantis is? So we don't have to search such a large area.
No one knows.
Yeah, it's in the Bahamas. It's a resort in the Bahamas.
That's where I saw Julio. Good way to bring
Nice little comedy club there they got.
Did you went there? I went and watched a guy there bombed. This dude bombed so hard.
It's too cushy of a gig,
dude. So hard. I saw him in the lazy river that day. I saw him during the day.
I wouldn't have went to the lazy river if I bombed. I don't want to see if I bombed that nasty at a paid gig like that at Atlantis. And he's not going to catch me fucking around the lazy river.
He was in the lazy river, and it was a moment because our tubes ran into each other. I was like, I saw you last night. It was all right. And I just kept on floating, man. We had a moment there, though. I mentioned a couple of the jokes I enjoyed. I was like, man, you said a couple of cool things about milk, man. It really crushed. He was like, thanks. And we just completely avoided like where people were just getting up and leaving.
The other 43 minutes.
Getting up and leaving, right? And there was lights on the crowd almost. So you could see it. There was only 8 of us in there. And people were just getting up and leaving like midway. I'm like, oh, this is an awkward moment. From the
Sean,
quads.
have you ever worked a cruise ship?
No.
Because I always think about like the guy on a cruise ship. Like, what if the show doesn't go well? There's literally nowhere you can go. You know, there's no privacy. I did a resort one time, and the show was on a Tuesday night, but I was there all week, and I've never been so nervous about a show because I go, what if I do a C minus?
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna want to look at me, no one's gonna want to talk to me or whatever. It was great. I mean, it's a great show.
I always thought I've thought about that, but I've never had to experience it like. Even having the possibility of that, you know, I like that you go and that's it. You're not stuck with them.
You're talking about sticking around for a week? That's like,
well, yeah, on the cruise ship.
That's a nightmare. I got asked to be a part of a swinger situation on a cruise ship, and I said no for the same reason, by the way. There's no escape. Same thing if you bomb, you got to see all the people the next day. There's no escape.
The lazy river's just killing me right now, though.
He was right next to me, dude. We bumped into each other. We bumped into refs.
An old buddy of mine, his name's Gene Pomp, a hilarious comedian. He said that back in the day, you know, like a long ass time ago, it wasn't the bet. You know, that's where you go when you weren't getting other work. Like now, you know, it's much different now. But so we was in the back of the room and he yelled out, somebody was bombing and he just yelled out, Bodak!
What is it, Bodak?
Yeah, like from the back of the room though, when no one's laughing and it's just like all you hear is Bodak.
Oh, it's terrible.
Some old ass, like probably 30-year-old term or something. So
unless it's happening to somebody else, and then it's the most fun.
Oh yeah,
dude, I watched a magician on a cruise ship. He crushed, by the way. His name's Justino. I follow him on the social medias. He crushed on the cruise ship. Boy, I was mind blown out there sailing the seas.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna pretend I'm entertained by that guy though, just because if he's doing real magic, he can do bad shit to me out on a boat, and it's outside international waters, and he can turn me into shit, you know.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. We got to wrap this up momentarily. I guess we should mention the Philadelphia Eagles roll again, and the better they get, the better their celebration game gets. If you saw them do the bowling thing where the other 10 guys all fell like pins,
and then the electric slide.
The electric slide was goddamn phenomenal. I credit them. I'm kind of liking the legal group celebrations. As long as you're good, as long as you're clever. You know, we've kind of done the thing where guys have just sort of pretended to be rolling dice and crap. But the more the Eagles score, the better they're getting at this crap. And they're a wagon. I don't know that they're going to be stopped.
Listen, it's very basketball-like, and I love it. If we can do more basketball celebrations, the better, in my eyes. Like, why not? If it's terrible, you judge it. If it's good, you judge it. I want some real judgment out of the commentators, though. If a celebration is weak, I think it should be made known that that is a weak celebration right there. Like, what you guys just did was not good. Do better. And then when the good ones happen, be like, oh, this is an electric slide out of fucking nowhere. They're going with a wedding reception out of nowhere. Are you kidding me? That's a great celebration. I think it should be sold up. I think it's a part of the game. It's a new part of the game. It could be a real show.
And they also had 2 guys on the sidelines playing tic-tac-toe.
Respect, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Total. Like, literally handing each other the pen.
Do you know the trick? You know the X's and O's trick or tic-tac-toe trick?
Well, you always want to get them on opposite corners, right?
Yeah.
Upper left and bottom right or whatever.
It's been years since I've lost a tic-tac-toe match, but I've tied a lot. I used to have this trick, and I thought I was the only person that has it, and it turns out everybody knows it. Everybody knows tic-tac-toe strategy. There's only one. You're either going to tie or win. That's it. It's one or the other. Got to get the corners, AJ. Got to get the corners.
Yeah, I've been trying to tell my kids that. Believe me, whenever we go out to eat, they want to play tic-tac-toe, and I try to teach them that. They don't care. They don't care to listen. They're taking middle square every time. Right.
Do you just bury them?
Yeah.
You gotta listen. I threw a lot of games of Candyland and Chutes and Ladders, and it's not good for kids. I should have let them just learn to step it up and work harder to beat me. And you're doing the right thing, AJ. Don't be like me.
No, luckily I'm not very smart, and sometimes they just naturally beat me at tic-tac-toe. But in other sports, yeah. I was playing soccer outside with my kids today, and I was dominating them for a while, and then it's getting late in the day, and we want to get in for dinner, so I have to let them score a few goals because they won't quit until they win.
Oh, they got a good mindset, though. That's good. That whole way.
Yeah. Believe me, they're super competitive, and they want to win, especially my oldest, my daughter. Yeah, but it's
because Chopper's going to get on the phone, and Pistol is going to get after him. It's going to be a whole new ball game. Their grandparents play no fucking games.
Chopper does not mess around trying to teach my kids how to properly throw a baseball or a football.
Fire that pigskin, boy.
Step by step, have a cigar hanging out of his mouth, his Coors Light next to him, and he's literally spending an hour trying to show my 22-month-old how to throw.
And a beer for the 6-year-old.
What's his name? Chopper.
Chopper, yeah.
And Pistol?
Yeah, Pistol's my dad.
What a fucking family, dude. And now that's Brady Quinn's dad, Chopper?
Chopper is, yeah, they were all here for Thanksgiving. We hosted everybody.
So Chopper's teaching your 22-month-old how to throw. What was Brady Quinn's life like? Brady Quinn's childhood had to be pretty fucking wild, huh? It was very much like Friday Night Lights, I bet. I bet you it was like
he was Chopper made Brady be, he played baseball forever growing up, and he was Chopper made him catch because he said if you're going to want to be a leader and want to be able to command stuff, you have to be the catcher. It's the toughest position to play. You run the game from back there. You're not just going to be sitting in the outfield catching fly balls. So, yeah, Brady had a lot of things like that. He pitched and was the catcher.
Chopper fucking laying the hammer down on Brady Quinn. Let's go. What a handsome dude. Chopper's got to be a good-looking guy. Brady Quinn's a handsome man. By the way, you could have...
Well, Chopper just turned 69, by the way,
nice.
And he thought he missed a year. So when he was telling me, he's been telling me he was 69 for the last year and a half, and I was like, Chops, I think you missed a year, man. You're 68 right now. He didn't realize it. He thought he was turning 70, and his wife and everyone else had to let him know, no, you are 69. Just happened 2 weeks ago. He's like, you're right, I am 69.
Just a calculator.
Can we arrange to get Chopper and Pistol on this show?
Oh my God, I hope so.
Maybe in the off season or something.
Knows what this is and listens and knows how to find it. Chopper, no idea. He's too busy smoking cigars in his truck. He has no idea what this is.
Anybody that's named Chopper, I want to have a conversation with immediately. Fuck. I had a good one for you, AJ. God damn, I had a good question right there. Did you see it? It was so close to coming out.
Yeah, but looking at the table.
Right,
man, it was something about Chopper. It was for sure about Chopper. I want to know more about this character so much. So much. He's around you on a daily basis, this Chopper guy?
Yeah, he built my house, and so he lives 10 minutes.
Chopper who didn't know his birthday built his fucking house.
You know I don't do nothing because you don't have to.
Chopper's like an artist. He's like an artist. He's like a math whiz genius. He can draw.
A math whiz. He didn't know how old he was.
Well, that's because I think Chopper, honestly, his brain, if he doesn't care about it, he doesn't give it a second thought. So people try to give him fancy meals or whatever. Every steakhouse he goes to, he asks for A1 and ketchup and something else. And he mixes his little sauce, and he just he's like, Chops, at the time he said, Chops, I'm 69. He was really 68. He's like, I know what I want. Don't be trying to give me this fancy food. I know exactly what I want. So don't be pushing. He gets so distraught when people are like, oh, you need to cook my famous souffle for you. And he's like, get that out of my face. He knows what he wants, man. So I respect it.
And he calls other people Chops, you said?
Was everybody Chopper because he can't remember anyone's name. So, yeah.
Guy built brilliant move. This guy built his house, by the way. This guy calls everybody Chopper. Didn't know how old he was. This guy built his house right now.
200 houses within a 10-mile vicinity of my house.
Oh, Chopper's got cake, cuz. Wow. Holy fuck. Did you hear that?
Yeah. All that wall raising an NFL quarterback.
Wow.
Over the last 40 years after he got out of Vietnam and came back and started building.
Wow.
And he went to Vietnam, too. He might be the world's greatest person.
supposedly he got the name Chopper. People thought his name was Chopper. He calls you Chopper because he flew helicopters in Vietnam. And I remember asking him about that. He's like, I rode in a few of them, Chopper. Never.
Yeah.
Where's he from? They're both from Ohio?
Yeah, he is actually from Colorado, but he moved here and went to school at Ohio State, and he's been here ever since.
Fucking awesome,
yeah.
man. I love that guy.
You got to get him on or videotape him without him knowing it. I need to see this guy in action.
I'll send you plenty of pictures when he's holding my kids and blowing smoke in their face inadvertently, and just so they smell cigar smoke. That's the first thing they do is they call him Paul. Paul's here, and they sprint around the house looking for his big white truck.
Hilarious. Chopper changes the game up, man. This guy's living a life. I'm proud of Chopper. I'm so proud of Chopper. Well, do you think you could possibly text Aaron Rodgers too? He hasn't gotten back to me. I was just wondering. He sent a video from my hometown. It was a video from a street that I've driven numerous times in my life. And I almost told him, like, hey, Aaron, have fun, enjoy the neighborhood or enjoy the city, you know? Like, I'm not from that area, but I've driven on that same street numerous times. And
what was the video?
He was taking a video of when he arrived in Pittsburgh, and it was basically like a road down the river, basically, which is a very standard road. There's a lot of parties in that area. It's a good time. Yeah. But, yeah, I just want if you could tell him, I wish him my best.
I think he said he's going to try in the off season. He's going to make a trip specially just to Indy to come see you.
What?
Oh shit! Surprise guest alert!
Please say what you just said again. Can you say it one more time?
I can't. I was lying. I just made it up to make you feel good.
Chopper, what are you doing to me?
Come on, Chops.
Come on, Chopper.
He knows Chopper. Hey, if he ever does come on, trust me, Aaron knows Chopper well. Chopper sent him a note recently in a care package we sent him, and it was absolute gold.
Oh, so I didn't get a chance to be a part of the care package? Like what? I thought we were all in this together. I thought this.
I tried. We text you, and as Jerry knows, you don't respond to text, so no, you weren't a part of it.
Tweet me.
Exactly. You're a real millennial there. Real millennial, Pat.
I don't know if I'm a millennial. I didn't have the internet on my phone in high school. I think that's the cutoff. By the way.
Okay.
Just for future reference, you get me on some T9 though. Back in the day. Boy.
I'm gonna ask a question I know the answer to.
Wow.
Chopper, does he text?
Chopper actually can text. Yeah, he has the giant iPhone. Yeah, he has the big one, and he can text. Yeah, he texts a decent amount actually.
Okay, that just seemed like totally not Chopper.
Yeah.
He just seems to be like a guy who doesn't even have like a flip phone.
Does he send emojis?
No, he doesn't know what an emoji is.
Okay, good. All right, I'm about done, guys. We done?
Yeah, we're done, pal. Hey, Sean, thanks for
It's like 1 a.m. right now. I just want to let you know Cyber Monday has started. Go to barstoolsports.com/store and buy everything.
Oh, next year, a Chopper ugly sweater for Christmas.
Boom.
We're gonna work on it. I mean, that's right there. We're
Chopper
turning him into a superstar.
He would wear it. He would wear the ugly sweater. No, it's ugly.
By the way, love ugly sweaters. Every one of them, 20% off right now. barstoolsports.com/store.
Thanks for letting me sit in here, boys. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Sean, thanks for coming.
Good to have you here, Bakhtiari. It's good to see you.
Yep. Great talking to you again,
what
man.
Did he call you? What did he call you?
I think it was the name of the guy from Green Bay.
Bakhtiari. You honestly, you kind of remind me of him as well. He's a great dude. You should be. It's a compliment.
He might be my brother.
There's chances.
He honestly might.
It's like that Too Short song. You know that Too Short song?
Let me hear
If you don't know your daddy, then you might be my son.
Oh, deep. That's your dad? Your dad wrote that for Too Short?
No, but it's a good line. One of the best rap.
19,999 bitches.
I'm on you, Will.
That's another Too Short line. He had sex
song.
with 19,999 bitches. That's a lot.
All
I
right.
don't know how you count that high. That's absurd. Chopper would be like, I think he's 68.
Yeah, you're right.
Chops.
All right. Hey, fellas, great time again. Sean, it was great hanging out with you. Pat, AJ, thanks very much again. We'll talk to you guys next Monday. In the meantime, buy lots of Barstool merch.
Amen.
We're at Laces Out Show on Instagram and on Twitter, and those guys are rocking the shit. So if anyone has anything else,
big shout out to Ty, Andrew, tech guy here, and Evan sticking around. Good people here, and we cannot wait to talk to you next week. Thank you to Sports Action and the Big Ten Network, and this has been a fun time. Have a good one.